We're live.
Oh, hello. We're live. Welcome to the Omnibus Collectors Network, Omnibroslive with the Manga Show. I'm the Omnibus Collector, and I'm joined by a couple of great friends of mine tonight. Below is my typical co-host, Gio, who is still petitioning for an Inhumans Omnibus. What's going on?
It will happen. I am certain of it. I'm not sounding, I don't want to sound like a madman, but I know it's going to happen. 2023, we're going to get that Inhumans Omnibus, and then I can finally take off this name right here because it's almost going to be a full year with me using this tagline. So I'm still petitioning for it. So thank you very much. Hi, everybody.
Don't stop believing. And are you wearing a Dio shirt?
It's super washed out, but yeah.
Okay, I think I have that shirt.
You do. We bought it at the same time. I remember.
Okay.
we found the link at the store online.
Perfect. To my whatever side this is, I'm not good with those, is Colleen making a return appearance on the channel to hang out and talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Surprise, Colleen, indeed.
Surprise.
We're not talking about shoujo beat drama today. Just hanging. Just
regular drama. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, thank you to the chat as always. Thank you to James for reminding us that today is our wonderful 6th anniversary here on YouTube. The Omnibus Collectors Network was originally Omnibroslive, and then we made this channel 6 years ago with the idea of it sort of being a hub for different channels and creators and all that stuff. And we've had a lot of fun since then. It's been a wild ride, and what better way to celebrate comic books than to talk about manga tonight? So if you don't like manga, I don't know what to tell you. You can tune in Monday. But thank you, regardless, for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the new streams are up. And yeah, welcome aboard to this crazy ride. When is the Inhumans anniversary? Every day, my dude. Every day is an Inhumans anniversary. I celebrate that constantly.
Before I got a PSA before we start.
I misheard that completely.
I also thought that was going somewhere else.
I gotta pee. I'm bringing you with me.
Okay.
I went to a Walmart.
It's a weird way to spend an anniversary, but yeah, continue.
I went to Walmart on a whim, and I went looking through their media, and I was extremely surprised and pleased with what I found. The Ghost in the Shell standalone complex for $12. That's $12 dues. That's like a me-sized meal at Taco Bell. And then the first 2 parts of Bleach,
awesome,
for $15 each. That's 55 episodes.
That's a steal.
About $30.
Yep.
And that lines up. It overlaps a little bit with the old set that you gave me years ago.
Yo, I'm so happy that you still have that. That means a lot. That's so cool.
I've got that and that one.
Hey, Mushishi.
Hey.
And where's the other one?
That was a long time ago, man. That was, I think, like 5 years ago. Then Sengoku Basara. Nice.
And if we were in my library, I also have one.
Oh, that's right. I sent you one. The manhwa. Cool.
And then I completed the set with the remaining volumes that you didn't have.
That
you didn't send me. So there we go. A testament to our timeless friendship.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so on the docket, the only actual topics that we were going to talk about is there's like, 6 solicitations, 3 from Yen Press and 3 from 7 Seas.
I got 3 brand spanking new ones from 7 Seas. They sent them to my email. And I guess we could talk about the Yen Press, although you guys told me they weren't as exciting. So I still have them here. We can talk about them, all that fun stuff.
Colleen's got some books behind.
Oh yeah, I always feel weird when I don't have any sort of decorations behind me. So I was like, I'll put my manga here. I have the 3 comics that you gave me. I still haven't read them. I'm sorry. I keep putting off like reading basically everything because I also got Golden Kamuy Volume 8 and 9.
Nice.
And I still have not read those either.
Those are important. Those are important.
Yeah.
And those are some volumes of Mars up there?
Yeah, these are the Mars volumes that a friend sent me. It's volumes 1 to 3 and then 5 and 6. And then there's a Requiem of the Rose King and Queen's Quality.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. We match.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that.
This is 1 through 10 and the Horse with No Name, but I also have 11. It's just in a box right now.
And how much did you get that for again?
The 1 through 10 and Horse with No Name was like $150.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was like, all right. So there's 15 volumes plus the final one, the Horse with No Name. So that's like $160 cover price. So I was like, cool, I have $10 more left in my budget with which to find the rarest volumes of the series. And I blew the $10 on volume 11. So now my hopes are that I find 12 through 15 absolutely free.
Well, so Rachel, I don't know her last name, but you probably know Rachel from TikTok. She just messaged me the other day because I had said that I got Mars. And she was like, oh, do you need a volume? I think it was 14. I was like, yeah. She's like, I have it. So she sent it to me.
Just casually.
Which Rachel? Because there's BL Rachel.
Rachel 0.
Horimiya Rachel.
Horimiya Rachel.
Okay.
Yeah. She messaged me and she was just like, yeah, I bought it at a book off and I thought I would be able to find the other ones and I didn't. So.
Point being, maybe someone will do that for me.
Hopefully.
And be like, hey, I've got volumes 12, 13, 14, and 15.
Shout out to Gabe. Thank you for joining in the chat, buddy. Smash that like button and subscribe. Hell yeah.
To smash it like the Incredible She-Hulk.
True. That's a very nice compliment. I appreciate it. Ben's with the win. This is a trio I would love to see on a regular basis. Thank you. Reading the X series from Clamp right now. Amazing artwork. What do you guys think about X?
I recently got the Omnis except for like one of them, I think. Like volume 4 or something like that. Whichever one it was, it's hard to find. So actually, no, I think there's 6 of them, and I got 4 out of the 6. 1 and 4. So I can't even start it. But it is a beautiful book.
It is. I think I've only read up to volume 7 of it, but it might, if I read the whole thing, it might be my favorite Clamp series. Like Tsubasa was for the longest time, but it might be X because I really like the first 7 volumes. So
I saw someone giving you a little bit of flack for saying you like Chobits.
Oh yeah, I was like, I don't really care because I like really any Clamp series. It could be the most garbage, stupidest series, but like their artwork is so good. I don't even care.
I did. Was it last week, Gio? I was talking a little bit about it.
We were talking about it.
What did I said something was like Chobits. I think one of the series that we read this list.
The Virgin Android.
Yeah, I was like, that's like the shonen version of Chobits or something. Or wait, no, Chobits is seinen, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever it was, I made the comparison, and Chobits was the first Clamp that I read, but I had seen Cardcaptor on, but it was the first Clamp that I read, and it was recommended to me when I was in like 7th grade or something, and so I'm just like this 12-year-old kid, like. Yeah, he wants to bang a robot. Cool. Like
it is a little too horny for when I read it as a child as well, because I think I read that in high school.
I don't know. Like I don't remember having a feeling at the time of like, oftentimes when you're younger and you read something like that, you're like, I shouldn't be reading this. I was just like, he wants to bang a robot, and I think like I was not that like set aside by it because Krillin marries Android 18 in Dragon Ball. So
yep.
I was used to the idea, but like I was like, wow, this is some stuff. And then it's like in retrospect, I'm like, he wanted to bang a robot. Like it's like thinking on it. But no, it was fun. Like I'm sure if I return to it, I might have some issues, but like I definitely not judging anyone who likes it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird series, and I get joking that it's just like, why do you like this, especially me? So
yeah, we can't be too judgy on those who wants to bang robots. Okay.
A quick aside, like I'm gonna say that the hottest robot that's ever roboted is the one.
Okay, Riley, watch it there.
The Aerosmith album cover.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was just thinking of that. Yep.
Gio, get her up on the screen.
Hold on. I got you.
Let's get her up on the screen.
Oh no, guys, I'm losing connection. I gotta go.
It is. Hold on.
I just really love this artist, and I think they have an art book, but when I was looking for it, I think it was super expensive.
Share screen. Robot Lady. There it is. That was from Just Push Play.
That's gotten the reaction I was going for.
Just as expected. I knew that was gonna happen.
This is, you know what? This is revenge for like 3 hours of trolling me last night.
Oh, you mean the Kingdom Sweep?
Yeah.
I should have put that as my name. I'm coming in here.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Gio. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Riley's like, all right, put my shame down now.
I really do love that artist though. Like he does a lot of different like robot and like sci-fi.
That's a style. That's an art style, right? I don't remember the name.
I don't remember. I looked it up the last time we talked about because I think they did. I think it's a Japanese man. Yes. I think he did a painting for something else. And I was like, oh, that's the one that did the Marilyn Monroe robot for the Aerosmith cover.
Hajime Sorayama.
The Marilyn Monroe bot?
Hajime Sorayama. And
I'm gonna let it go.
There's a lot of stuff in here. I don't think I can share my screen again. But you get the picture. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm on Google right now.
Have fun. Have fun with that.
Don't look at my reflection in my glasses, please.
No, yeah.
Just put them up real quick.
That man just loves his robots. Yep.
Just loves them a little bit more than most do.
Clamp is fantastic, but they do also have some poo-poo garbage story-wise in their lineup, even if the artwork is still gorgeous. I think my favorite of the Clamp stuff is XXX Holic. Is that what it's called? I dug that. I don't remember a lot of it, but I dug it. But... Everybody's like super spaghetti long-limbed in that. But it's cool.
Wasn't there someone like not long ago who was like shitting on Clamp because of that?
Don't get me started. They were like, oh, have you ever seen the worst body proportions ever? And then they showed Clamp artwork, and it was just the anime. But they were like trying to say that Clamp has bad artwork because the anime adapted it poorly.
No.
This is no.
Because most Clamp art doesn't look like that. However, on the note of Clamp, they also did that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing where like Jotaro and Kakyoin have a baby from an egg, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember what the name of it is, but I think it was like one of their first series together as like 4 artists.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name though, and I never read it.
A little short story that was in like a magazine, like a summer special or something, and they did a little short JoJo's.
Oh, someone in the chat just said it. I don't know if that's the name.
They're the ones behind the dojin with Kakyoin lays an egg. I don't even know what that's about.
And then when the egg hatches, it's like a little chibi Jotaro.
That's odd. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what's not odd? Getting your fantastic books and manga from our sponsor, that's InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback, manga, and so much more. You get it at InStockTrades.com. And look, they even have some clamp books that you can check out, like Hardcovers Sakura, and so much more. Great deals, up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. If you make an order week by week, you get that loyalty discount. $50 in an order gets you free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging. That's InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibroslive here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. And let me remind you guys that towards the end of the month, on the last Monday, we're going to have a $50 gift card giveaway courtesy of In Stock Trades. All you got to do is show up in the chat and participate with us, and we'll do a giveaway at the end and pick out a winner, courtesy of In Stock Trades. Shout out to IST. And look, you get some cool manga right here. Die, Call of the Night, stuff like that.
It's not manga, but that the what's it called? 7 to Eternity is really cool.
It's still in stock. Don't complain, guys. It's only 8,000 copies. Once it's gone, it's gone.
I was gonna say, I think it's limited to 8,000, and like the Fantastic Four Full Circle, the slipcase was limited to 3, and that sold out on the same day. So it's kind of cool that this one's still around. It's been like 2 days since it was listed. So I personally, I think the story's fine, but the artwork by Jerome Opeña is always amazing.
Riley, I've asked on Monday. I asked on Wednesday. I'm going to ask today. Do you know about Bird King?
It looks like okay, it's not, but it looks like Headlocker.
I was going to say Mike Mignola mixed with anything else. And I just want to know what the hell it is because it looks super cool. And I've asked the chat on Monday. I asked Jess last night, and now I'm asking you. Do you have any idea what Bird King is? Because I want to get it.
But I don't. But it looks like the same style as Headlopper.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. So there's that. If you guys want to take a gamble and get Bird King, let me know.
Escape from Feather Hill.
So that's it. That's our sponsor, InStockTrades.com. Go check them out. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled badness.
Regular banter.
Yes.
Gio, did you haul anything that you wanted to show off?
No, but I am excited to mention that I put out a haul video on my channel if anybody wants to check it out. And that features books that were on delay from May, and I'm excited that I finally have them. And now they're just going to sit in my shelf, and I'm not going to read them until maybe next May. Who knows? But it's happy that I'm happy that I have them on my library. And I finally got a shipping notification for the damn Rooster. What's it called? Rooster Fighter from Viz.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one they won't stop promoting.
Here's the thing, Colleen. I hyped the book up for our crowd that's not into manga because I had been reading it before the book came out. And I was super excited because it's so stupid that it's kind of fun. It's a sentient rooster, and he's fighting kaiju monsters. What's not to love? And for some reason, it was delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And we're freaking mid-September. And now I finally got a shipping notification. So
when was it supposed to come out? Like, how long was it delayed?
No, it came out. I think
his copy was delayed.
My copy was delayed.
Because I've had mine for a minute.
That's even more of a bummer.
Yeah. We lost him. That everyone Gio's been like promoting the series to already has it, and he's sitting there without it. So
one person without it.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I watched 2 monster movies today, though, on the topic of kaiju, and I need Gio to be here because he's my kaiju buddy.
Yeah, he would understand more probably. I've seen 2 kaiju movies, and one of them was horrible.
Which ones did you watch? And I'm hoping that the horrible one's not one I love.
The recent Godzilla one with Bryan Cranston in it is the horrible one. It's horrible in the sense that it just wasn't a great movie.
I think that one's fine. I think that the follow-ups are more fun than the first one, though.
Was there one sequel?
I'm back. I nearly died. I had to go grab a bottle of water. Sorry.
Oh,
oh man.
I filled. I finished your thoughts about Rooster Fighter.
Yeah. So to end that discussion, they finally shipped it. I'm excited. And what's this Godzilla slander that I'm hearing?
So
somebody didn't like the 2014 Godzilla?
I just didn't think it was a great movie.
No, it's fine. It's fine. A lot of people
I actually don't remember much about it. I think I went to see it just because Bryan Cranston was in it. And then I guess spoilers, if anyone cares about the 2014 Godzilla movie, he dies literally like 15 minutes in. And I was like,
It's not well liked, that movie, but I really dig it. It was the first time I saw a Godzilla movie in theater, so I was super excited.
I think it looked really cool. I just thought the story was kind of like, nah.
I saw the 98 Godzilla with Matthew Broderick.
Oh, that counts. I forgot about him. Sorry, yeah. So second Godzilla movie.
So yeah, there are follow-ups because it was that one, and this is not very exciting because I have them in custom cases. I'm that kind of Godzilla fan. And then there was the Kong Skull Island movie, which is I think the best out of all of these. And then Godzilla King of Monsters that had Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah.
That's my favorite so far of the MonsterVerse.
Godzilla versus Kong. So both of the behemoths get to face off against each other. But today I watched the one that Gio told me to pick up, The Howl from Beyond the Fog. And he saw me go on about it a little bit, that I didn't realize it was like a puppet.
Yeah.
Like Team America.
Yeah. It's a puppet film.
And I didn't realize that. And like at the beginning, it's like the people are moving and they're so like static. And I was like, what is up with these people? And like I looked closer, like I didn't have my glasses on. I'm like, that's not a human. So it took me a minute to realize that like I was watching puppets. And the monster is a giant like clay monster. But like once I realized what I was watching, it was super cool. It's only 35 minutes. But it's really neat. And the monster sounds like a foghorn. So like beyond the fog, it's like just this like going off. And then I watched Bong Joon-ho's The Host.
Nice.
Which is fantastic. What you'd expect from Bong Joon-ho. Some people dump some formaldehyde into the river and it infects something and it grows to large proportions and starts eating people. The climax, the way that they beat the monster is super awesome. So I recommend that one.
Hold on. Next to Maginot. To Godzilla's credit, 2014, it's the only monster movie in recent memory to have the restraint to not reveal the monster until at least an hour in. Yes. And I still remember watching it in theaters, and when Godzilla finally shows up, the whole theater went insane, myself included, and it was really cool.
But I will say the best modern Godzilla, Shin Godzilla.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Shin Godzilla is amazing. That movie is so good. From Hideaki Anno. I can't wait for what does he have? Shin Ultraman next? Yeah, I can't wait for that. I just
no, Ultraman and Kamen Rider.
Shin Kamen Rider?
Yeah, because they're doing the team up, or for just merchandise, they're doing the 4-character team up of Godzilla, the Eva, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman.
So you get Godzilla versus Evangelion. I don't know. I always pronounce
Don't
it.
say Genesis.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Now I've got a follow-up from last week's show with the art book, the illustration collection for Pokemon.
That's so cool.
This is something that we mentioned. I went ahead and ordered.
You're the best. I love that you got it.
It was like $20, and it has a lot of illustrations. It's not.
Oh, look at Fanfi. I love that guy.
It's pretty. It's somewhat recent, so you get a lot of recent card art in there.
I think it goes up to Alpha Sapphire era, so 2017, 16, something like that.
It was part of the. It looks like it was packed along with like a 25th anniversary set.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
And I also got the Lost Origins set of the Pokemon cards, and I did get a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. Yeah. What was the best pull from that? Oh, I do know what that best pull was. I can tell you. If I can find it, I'll show you. It's this one.
Oh, look at that. That's dope.
That was the best one. Full art Gengar.
Nice.
I didn't get a Giratina, sadly.
I love get Satan.
I named mine Guillotine in the game because I was so cool back in high school when it came out. I was like, "Is Giratina? Yeah, he's called Guillotine." And then here's another haul bit that I grabbed that was really cool. The Lighthouse.
You posted. Was it a TikTok or a?
I did on TikTok and on Twitter. I posted this.
Oh, that's why.
For the release of the Lighthouse in Japan, they had this book that has a lot of cool stuff in it, including but not limited to a 6-page short adaptation of part of the movie by none other than Junji Ito.
Fan of the show. God bless him.
Look at that. So I can't read Japanese, but that's fine.
You can watch the movie and then look at that, and you sort of get the same feel.
Yeah, and so I know, like, the bird's angry. That's fine.
Are ye not fond of me manga?
I can also, if y'all would like, talk about this.
Oh my God. We've talked about this ever since the solicits popped up. And we've made fun of it. I made fun of it because the monsters look like weird Digimon.
Yeah.
And Riley finally got it, so that's great.
He posted one of the panels in our group chat, and I was like, immediately no. Immediately no.
So this was not good. I'm gonna start there. Give it 0 out of 5 omnibuses. It's
not 0. Damn.
0 out of 5. And I like partway through, I'm like, I'm gonna probably give this another. I'm looking for the pictures that I posted. I'm probably gonna give this one at least another volume. By the time I wrapped up this book, I put it down and I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, first of all, was it this where it was like gender equality is disappeared from the world?
It was the second one that you posted that I was like, I'm not vibing with this.
Well, I was like, gender equality is disappeared from the world, and then I said, so this is a nonfiction. The other one, was it the one where she where I said like he's like a Digimon and it was him standing there?
Yeah, and it was like I don't know how to with the oh god.
That's a Digimon. That's like you remember Renamon from season 3?
It's a Digimon.
It's in that style.
So like there's so many bits of this that it like if it just didn't do a certain thing, it could be fine. But somehow, no matter what they do, they make the wrong choice with this series. And the middle, the wrong thing was like I kept guessing what the next shitty thing was gonna be. And I was like, I think this is a harem manga somehow. And I was right. It proved me right by the end that this is somehow was a harem manga. I'm fine with like, you know, some fan service here and there, but like it was stupid is the thing. Like the way that everything was. So the main
what's the story? To recap, what's the story about?
This woman, okay, so this world the whole gender equality thing is because women have powers. Like they do something and they gain superpowers, and they fight monsters using those powers. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guys are in school, and I think it's just a high school like class or whatever. And the main dude meets up with one of these girls, and her power is that she can turn people or creatures or whatever into her slaves to do her bidding, to work for her, to fight for her against, like, so that they can fight the monsters.
Yeah.
The way that they make, like, to become her like Digimon, the dude has to like kiss her hand or something, and that activates the transformation. And then he serves her, he fights whatever, and the more he fights, the bigger reward that he gets. The reward is based on whatever, this is how they explain it, it's based on whatever the person desires. And so apparently he's a horny little guy, and
of course
he desires her. So the first time she kisses him, and she, like, it's not just a smooch, like ass in the air on top of this dude, like, and of course he is the most like plain beige boring protagonist that you could have. She's whatever. He is so boring, yet, like, as the issue is with most shonen, like a lot of shonen romance and a lot of like the harem stuff, is that the protagonist is so boring, and you're like, how does everyone, okay, here we go, it's safe for work, but there.
Do you think that's on purpose, so that audiences and readers in Japan could see themselves in the character, like a base character when you make them in a video game or something like that?
Maybe, like, that might be the reason, like, to make it easier to see yourself in the character. But I'd rather like have a character that's actually intriguing, where I can believe that people would want to be in a relationship with this guy, would be attracted to this guy. But obviously, like, she's not attracted to him because she can't control herself, which is another thing that I found really stupid, was like, whatever the reward has to be, her body is forced onto it. So she literally couldn't stop herself from jumping his bones right there. And later on, he like helps her briefly. And so like the reward is a piece of candy. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not always going to be. And then it clicked. And I was like, they're going to bone. Like, is eventually it's going to happen. like, so yeah, she like strips at one point, and
my God.
his face is forcefully shoved into her cleavage. I didn't mention that in our group chat.
No, you didn't.
That was a part where I was like, I can't, I'm not spending more money on this. And so then after that, it pushes into the point where I'm like, this is definitely about to be a harem series, because then another one, because it's a squad, it's like four women, that he becomes the only male member of this squad, and he wants to be part of the squad to protect whatever. And another one of them is like, you have to, now you're gonna do stuff with me. And I was like, no, why? And like, I have to keep her. She's clothed, but I'm covering this. Like,
it's always a bitch with a bow on her head. It's always a bitch with a bow on her head.
So she's like making him do stuff, and they play. And this girl, she has the power to grow. She can grow herself.
Oh,
this is not the main girl, but one of the other girls. She can get really big, and they play video games together, and they play strip video games, to where like whoever loses the round has to remove clothing, but she's better than he is, so he loses. So he's like naked. But then a monster comes and attacks, and he's like, oh no, what do I do? And he runs to the closet, like he runs away and hides, and he finds that the main girl, her boots are in the closet, and he's like, maybe, oh, and then the giant girl's shirt is torn right here.
Is he gonna wear the boots?
He goes, maybe since I have to like kiss her to activate, if I do something with the boots, maybe I can activate it as well. And he licks the boot. He licks it, then I'll do it.
These manga authors are so down bad.
And he partially transforms. He doesn't get the full transformation because all he got was the boot. The logic, I don't know where it is. But I was like, what? And then this is where I was like, absolutely not. I don't know how I can. He's in her cleavage.
Riley, you are really just making me question everything about.
Somehow, after everything is said and done, he finds his way into her cleavage. And that's pretty much the end of the first volume. There's like another chapter, but I don't really care. At that point, I was like, this is not a thing that should no, this is bad. This is stupid. It's bad. It's like laughably bad.
So you're not getting volume 2 is what I'm getting at.
No, I'm not. And I'm like, I give like, this is very rare. I'm telling you how rare it is for me to not go past a volume 1 is very rare. I usually give something like 3 volumes because I think that's a fair shake. I will not at all. I'm not spending another dime. Like I'm gonna do something with that. This, however, is charming and amazing. I've only read a few chapters of it. This is See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. Highly recommend it. I know Colleen was disappointed because it's not a gal GL, but it's just 2 friends from opposite sides of the world, like not of the world, but like different types of people. She's like the quiet, reserved nerd, and then she's the more outgoing one, but they're friends and they meet at the local food court and they hang out and they eat and they like just talk about life. And it's cute. I've read, you can see I've read just a small amount so far, but I love it. It's so good already. Just a few chapters in. I highly recommend it. Both are from that art. Both are from Yen Press, by the way. So Yen Press is batting what 500, I guess. Here's just a nice panel. She's cool. They were practicing
character design,
speaking English. The girl that is more subdued is like into like a mobile game, and she was like, I hate this one character in this game, and then at the end of the chapter she like wins that character in the game, like whatever. Yeah, so it's like, wait, it's Duke Abel. Shit, like she didn't want to win that character, but then in the next chapter, she goes, like her friend goes to meet her, and you see on this page, she goes to meet her at the food court the next day or whatever, and she's not there because she's playing a crane game, and she's doing very poorly at it. And she finds that it's a Duke Abel crane game. And the girl's like, I thought you hated that character. And she's like, honestly, I only got into that game because of the character, but he's so hard to get that I instinctively started to hate him. Mm-hmm. And now I want like all of the merch for this character. And so she's just like lamenting how hard it was for her to get him. And in the meantime, the gal character starts to play the crane game, and she wins the little figure for her, and she's just adorably thankful for it. So it's just cute. It was like the greatest, most welcome 180 after reading Chain Soldier.
Yeah, just what you needed.
It was, and this was okay. Shadow's House Volume 1.
Is that had an anime recently?
Yes.
Last year.
So that's that, and then also the complete Weird Al. Had to show that.
That's a really weird haul.
Yeah.
Or like haul and read. That's awesome.
What I've been up to, I guess. So
Baz Reed's book said that Chain Soldier is getting an anime adaptation.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
And I it's going to be popular.
I don't know about that.
I think it is.
hold on, let me do some investigative journalism because I review a lot of the seasonal anime. So now I think I'm gonna have to watch it, unfortunately, to review it.
Oh no, you're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, poor me. Chain Soldier.
But it's another. Remember, that's not the name in Japan.
Oh yeah. That was a controversy.
It's like Mato Seisei something something no slave.
Oh, so they changed it so they didn't have slave in the title.
Yeah.
And of course, people got mad.
Studio 7 Arts. I don't know about that. That's not gonna be great. 7 Arts. They did Tonikawa and what's the other one? Arte, from a couple years back. Anyways, so yeah, if you guys don't know, I do seasonal anime reviews, and I try and watch as a challenge as many shows as possible, even the bad ones, and that makes for some interesting content later on when I make my review on it. So yeah, I'm currently watching a lot of shows right now.
Hopefully that series does not become popular because that's not something I want like in my face all the time.
Yo, bro, why didn't you like Chain Soldier?
That was abysmal, dude. Like right off the bat, I like the first page. I was like, I don't think this is going anywhere good anytime.
When was this made? I have like this new theory that like Chainsaw Man is really getting these like dudes making like the horniest series where the guy is just so down bad. Like like everyone is making characters like that now.
This one's 2019, yeah.
When did Chainsaw Man
and Chainsaw Man debuted it in
around the same time?
2018. Makes sense.
So it could have been.
Yeah, it's like great value Chainsaw Man.
It's just bad. Like that's not good at all.
Speaking of good, Colleen, have you read anything decent that's not chained?
Yeah, I just read it was another Yen Press release that just came out. I think Riley picked it up too, but No Longer Heroine.
Yeah. What's that about?
It is this girl who's been childhood friends with this guy that she's liked ever since grade school, I think. And she's never told him, and he like consistently has girlfriends, but he breaks up with them. So she's never like too worried about him getting a girlfriend because she's like, oh well, he has me and he always breaks up with them, so I don't need to worry about it. But then one day he actually gets a serious girlfriend that isn't usually his typical type, and like she gets really, really upset. And then it's just kind of like her having to come to terms with the fact that she missed her chance. It's controversial in the fact that like a lot of shoujo fans don't like it.
Oh, really?
But I remembered, so I read this one back in college when it was releasing. I think it was releasing in like 2013, I want to say. Or that's when it ended. And I remember really liking it. And even the first volume, I was like, this kind of reads more like a parody in a sense, but also like it's not played entirely for comedy. But at the same time, it's like kind of taking the like romance tropes and the shoujo manga tropes that a lot of people know and like subverting them. So like she's the childhood best friend, and in shoujo, usually if the main girl is the childhood best friend, then they end up getting together. Or but the fact of the matter is that she's actually like the bitchy girl who like puts the shy, quiet girl who gets the guy down and like makes fun of them. So I think it's like a comedy parody romance series, and I think a lot of people are kind of had gone into it thinking it was just straight romance, and that's why a lot of people didn't like it. But I thought it was really good.
Because I asked you about it when it was first coming out. just to kind of know what to say about it in video.
Yeah.
And like I think what I said in my video was that like I feel like she seems like she's kind of a brat, like just from the way she's described for the series, but like it sounded interesting to me because just knowing the concept that, you know, no longer heroine because she believes she's the main character, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, you're not the main character. You're not the main girl in the story. And I think that concept was why, like, even though I came out thinking like she sounds like a brat, like I still want to try it out because it sounds funny.
Yeah.
And it also, like, even though it like sounds funny and whatever, like the art style seems like it's playing it all relatively straight.
Yeah.
Like it's
Which
not,
is why I wouldn't say it's a parody. It's just it's like a comedy drama.
Yeah, okay. So I mean I like the art. It reminds me of the art for Kimi ni Todoke.
A little bit, yeah. I think they came out around the same time. They were in the same magazine at the same time.
Something about like the way that the eyes are drawn when they're not detailed.
Okay, show that again.
The undetailed eyes.
Yeah,
reminds me of because the artwork on Kimi ni Todoke is a little bit more flat.
You haven't read it yet. I don't know if you got it either. High School Debut. I think if you read that one, you would probably think the art's a little closer to that style, where it's like the faces are very over-exaggerated whenever they do like a face for comedy. Because Kimi ni Todoke, because Kimi ni Todoke doesn't really do that as much as like High School Debut does.
Well, that one you said is the same that did My Love Story, right?
Yeah.
So when I was watching that, you were like, I haven't seen it,
different artist though. Same author, but different artist. But usually Kazune Kawahara does her own art as well. But for that series, she got Aruko, who's the artist and author for just the artist for My Love Mix-Up.
Which is that one's currently ongoing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just ended in Japan though.
Okay. That one sounds fun too.
Yeah. It's in the same sort of like over-exaggerated faces realm as No Longer Heroine is.
That one's like something with the guy thinks that the other guy in the class was trying to flirt with him, and then he's like, maybe?
It's so it's convoluted. So he's sitting here and he has a crush on this girl who sits next to him. And the guy in front of him is named Ida. So he's got a crush on this girl next to him. He asked to borrow her eraser. And she hands him the eraser. And he sees on the eraser that it has the name Ida on it. So he's like, oh no, my crush has a crush on the guy in front of me. But then he drops the eraser and Ida sees the eraser and thinks that he has a crush on him. And so to not tell on the girl because he has a crush on her and he doesn't want to embarrass her, he pretends that he actually is the one who has a crush on the guy. And that's the plot.
Sounds like fun. I like it.
It's crazy. I love that series though. It's really funny.
Nice. I'm looking around, but I don't think I've been keeping up with any recent reads. I can, however, tell you guys that there are a bunch of cool stuff coming out from 7 Seas that we can highlight. A second here to pull up the screen. Also, there's a question from Next Imagine on it, but if I post that on the stream, Riley's going to take a detour for like 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave that towards the end. It's about Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Put it on deck.
Because you have the shirt on, so that's why I'm saying that. So round of new announcements. Let's do 7 Seas first, real quick. The first one here is My New Life as a Cat. It's a lot of cat manga, so here's another one. Now Kazushiro is a normal high school student until he gets in a traffic accident and winds up in the body of a cat At first, it's all fun and games as he gets used to his new form, but then the novelty wears off and the hunger sets in. Luckily, he's picked up by Chica, a girl his age who gives him food and a home off the streets. She's awfully sweet and pretty, but meanwhile, he's still in a furry feline body. Will now called Meow, ever get his human form back, or will Fur end up flying instead of Sparks? Or will Fur end up flying instead of Sparks? My New Life as a Cat Volume 1 will be released in April next year for $14. And here's the cover for that. Right there. Thoughts on My New Life as a Cat?
A lot of puns.
That description was insane. Just from the puns alone.
So it seems now that a lot of, instead of doing straight up isekai manga, now people are just being transported or reborn as cats and dogs.
Yeah, there was a dog one last week, right?
Yeah, last week we talked about the guy getting isekai'd into another world with his pup. But now for the cat stuff, it's usually people dying and they get transformed magically into cats.
See, I want more dog manga.
Same here.
And there's so much cat manga. I just read the first 2 volumes of Cat Plus Gamer the other day, and they were both delightful. I'm not saying that the cat manga is not good, but like, you know,
we need some dog representation. Come on.
Well,
guys.
aren't cats kind of more popular in Japan anyway?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you trace it back to like folklore and stuff, the neko culture is pretty huge in Japan compared to dogs.
But Chewie wants to see himself.
Don't even get out of here.
I just love dogs. And I don't mind the cat manga, especially like the zombie cat one that we talked about before.
That hasn't come out yet, right?
Yeah, that one's not, and I think it's coming out next month right now.
Okay.
Better come out in October in time for Halloween. But see, that looks really great. Cat Plus Gamer is good, but like I treat cat manga in a way where like I'm gonna pass on it unless someone tells me. Like I recently bought was it A Man and His Cat? I ordered that because I've heard nothing but like heartbreakingly good things about that series. But I'd love to see more dogs in my. I got the Isle of Dogs, the Wes Anderson movie. I got that manga that came out from Dark Horse. I got that. I just, I like dogs. I know Gio's a dog guy.
I am.
It's fine that you're not a dog person. You're finally out.
I used to be. I just don't. I can't take care of a dog now. It's too hard with an apartment.
I will say the Bakeneko is one of my all-time favorite yokai. So 1 point for the cats. There are dog yokai, but they're not as cool, in my opinion.
The cats are winning.
Yeah.
So the next license yes, this is the one that Colleen got super pumped about on Twitter. I don't know anything about it, but apparently the
Cinderella Closet. This is by Wakana Yanai. I'm gonna read it real quick for you before we talk about it. Haruka is a plain Jane who left the countryside to start her college life in Tokyo. She's secretly in love with Kurotaki, a co-worker at her part-time job, but she lacks the self-confidence to confess her feelings to him. Then she meets Hikaru, a glamorous but sharp-tongued fashionista who begrudgingly agrees to play fairy godmother for Haruka and help her learn to love and value herself in the process. However, there's more to Hikaru than meets the eye. Cinderella Closet Volume 1 releases in April for $14. Here's the cover. So, thoughts on Cinderella Closet?
I love this series. It's great. I'm so excited. I read the first 8 chapters. It doesn't really get translated that often online, so I just kind of gave up on ever getting to actually finish it. So it's very cool that we're getting this one. Also, I did not ever expect this would be one that would get picked up. like before, I guess, anything else from Margaret, which is the magazine it comes from. So
Nice. And is it still ongoing or did it end?
it just recently ended, I believe. I think it was 8 volumes. So it's kind of short, but I think the story didn't need to go on super long anyway. So it's like one of those where it's like a nice, like, it's got a start, it had a purpose, and then it ended. So
Awesome.
yeah, they the author just went on to do a one-shot recently as well, I believe. But I really like their work. I think it's a really good series.
Okay. Well, that's great that it's only 8 volumes, so people can pick that up and not have to worry about making enough like space for their shelves. And
Yeah.
the next one here is Soloist in a Cage by Shiro Moria.
Why does it sound familiar to me?
Chloe and her baby brother Locke were born in a prison the size of a city, a walled-off collection of ramshackle buildings full of dangerous criminals who live bleak and isolated lives. Their parents are gone, leaving Chloe to care for her brother. When a trio of soldiers manage to break out of the prison, Chloe goes with them but loses Locke during the escape. After years of training, Chloe returns to the prison city with one goal: to find her now 11-year-old brother and get him out of that hellhole no matter what it takes. Soloist in a Cage Volume 1 releases in May of next year for $15 in single large trim editions.
So it sounds familiar to me because it's on Manga Plus. That's why I recognized it.
Yes.
It's from the Jump Plus magazine. It was only 20 chapters, only 3 volumes. So this is a shonen, and it's not a very long shonen.
Is that pretty unique that Seven Seas got a Jump Plus series?
They have stuff like Kiriru Kill Me. I think that the 100 Girlfriends.
That really love you. That one.
I think that one is also
the triangle thing. What's it called?
No, that one's Young Jump. Sorry. Ayakashi Triangle is actually a weekly Shonen Jump series.
Oh, okay.
And so that makes it even well. It was weekly Shonen Jump for like a year plus, and then it moved. I think now it's part of Jump Plus. They moved it out of weekly. But they have also licensed in the past To Love Ru and To Love Ru Darkness. To Love Ru, the first one was in Weekly Shonen Jump. Darkness was in another Jump magazine. So they've had a lot of like Shueisha and a lot of Jump series go through Seven Seas before. Usually it's the ones that are a little bit more on the heavy fan service side, which I don't think this one is. I could be wrong, but like
it doesn't look like it would be.
No, it doesn't. And it said on the description it's a psychological series, so I don't think so. But most of what they do would be like they pull the licenses that Viz is not going to use because they're too heavy in like the fan service, and Viz would wind up basically censoring that.
Yeah.
Seven Seas doesn't. They'll show full frontal.
I will say the art is pretty dope. I like what I'm seeing here.
For the Soloist?
Yeah. Let me share my screen again. This other tab. Hold on. I do like it. That was not what I was expecting based on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have expected that.
Yep.
Okay.
I hope I don't get any not safe for work stuff, but it's all right. I doubt it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I dig it.
That it's only 3 volumes also. I mean, I guess anyone, if you want to try it out, it is on the Manga Plus app. But that it's only 3 volumes, I'll probably just get that without worrying about opinions. But for like the cat one, I'm gonna pass unless I hear that it is very good.
It's from Chow Magazine, which is like for kids, so it's probably going to be a kids manga. So I wouldn't expect anyone other than maybe like preteens to be saying it's
or
good.
cat enthusiasts.
Or cat enthusiasts. The cat people and the preteens.
I am a child. Can I, before we leave this page right here, the hamster is offensive to me because there's no sign of Hamtaro, and yet
I knew this is where you were gonna go. I knew this is where you were taking this.
They use the hamster every single time, and it just like, I'm like, really? And so I've never done the survey, never, until this past time, because I had enough. I put my foot down and I asked for Hamtaro in the survey. Viz Media printed Hamtaro. It's only a 3-volume manga for like hundreds of episodes. I think it was like, what, 200 episodes of the anime? For as many episodes, it's only 3 volumes of manga. It's not a lot. They could put it all into a single volume. They could, 7 Seas, I know you're watching me, 7 Seas, put it into a single classic collection hardcover just for me.
Like, next time it's going to say petitioning for a Hamtaro omnibus.
Exactly. Exactly. If you're going to use freaking, and it's Hamtaro. It's Hamtaro. The orange and the white. That is, they're not even trying to like hide the fact that
it's a hamster. That's hamster colors.
I had like 4 hamsters. One of the
that's like hamsters. If they had a flag, it would be orange and white.
One of the 4 hamsters that I had looked like that. The other ones, it was black and white and gray and like white. But only one of them had the orange. And that hamster got named Hamtaro because he was named after Hamtaro, which looked the same. So this hamster is Hamtaro. The hamster from the emoji from the iPhone thing, is also a Hamtaro. If you're an orange or white hamster, you're a Hamtaro. I didn't make the rules. I just abide by them. And if 7 Seas is going to keep using Hamtaro,
this is great value. Hamtaro.
I'll give you that. It is the great value. This is the Walmart brand Hamtaro.
Yes.
Like that's the one that like when you buy like those when you're at Sam's Club and you find those like how to draw manga books from 2005. That's the off-brand like you get like an off-brand version of Goku on the cover with like lopsided spiky yellow hair, and then you get
I think the better question is, why is there a hamster to begin with?
To fuck with you.
What is the hamster supposed to signify?
It's because of me. They know. They've been doing it's all against me because I shat on 7 Seas like back before they published anything good.
So they could. It's only 5 volumes for the original.
It's 3 volumes.
Oh well, it says here on Annie list 5, but
so I guess Riley isn't much of a Hamtaro fan as he thinks he is.
They got you, son.
Shut up. Is
get
there
him, Gio.
Is it Hamtaro Volume 0, Hamtaro Gaiden, where you get his origin story?
Maybe, but Hamtaro, they could do like the Hamtaro Omnibus and do like an omnibus themed book with the freaking hamster on it.
It should just be like a die cut cover of a hamster. Like the book should be hamster shaped.
I don't like the cover for the manga though. It's not as iconic as the anime.
No, it's not. The manga like is a very different style. So that's
not gonna sell any books. I'm sorry.
I'm only barking at the tree because I can, but what I really want is a full Blu-ray release of the anime. But I'm small. I'm starting small. I started small. I bought the Nendoroid. I bought it. I'm supporting the cause. I bought the Nendoroid. That was a $50 hamster that I bought. But I believe in the cause.
That's as much as like a regular hamster.
You know, but this one lasts forever.
Yeah, this one won't die on you.
And he comes with an extra head. I've never bought a hamster that came with an extra head.
It's probably for the best.
Heavy chew.
Give
I
me
think
the
you
damn
need to,
hamster manga. Jesus Christ.
for the Blu-ray, I think you need to harass what's it called? Discotheque Media.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Someone get me Discotheque on the line right now. Give me the president of Discotheque.
Let's do a
I have an offer
transfer.
for you.
SD on Blu-ray. All
Yes,
the episodes.
exactly.
How many episodes are there for Hamtaro?
It's like 200 or something.
Jesus Christ.
Which means
193 episodes.
Yeah, about 200. So
And I think I watched every single one of them as a kid.
it could fit on 4 discs, easy. The SD on BD.
Yeah,
that's 4 discs, because like the entire 51 episodes of Cyborg 009 was on 1 disc. I was afraid to remove that disc from my PlayStation lest I like lose my spot, because I was like, if I remove the disc, am I just gonna get all of a sudden fucked? And I don't know what episode I'm on, so I'm gonna be surfing through and being like, shit, I'm on episode 37, but I don't know where. I don't know. So I kept that disc in until I finished it. Point being, they could put all of Hamtaro in one set, almost 200 episodes. There's probably movies and OVAs and stuff too, and they could put that in.
Yes. Okay, so check this out. There is the original anime, which was released back in July of 2000. Then they released Hamtaro Hamu Hamu Paradichu, and that has another 100 episodes.
Jesus.
Then they have an OVA. Then they have a side story OVA called 3000 Hammy Steps in Search of Mommy. Then they had a movie called Ham Ham Land Big Adventure. Then they had another movie called Ham 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 Maboroshi no Princess. And then there is a side story OVA called The Miracle of Aurora Valley. And then there's another OVA called Ham Ham's Ahoy. And a third OVA here called something else that's too long and too complicated for me to pronounce, but there's a lot of Hamtaro.
Basically, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money in the hamster cage.
I appreciate that pun. And
here, I just pulled it out, but I have my Hamtaro video game from like 2003.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me highlight you again. I want to see that.
I'm a true fan.
Yo, that's sick. Riley, you got to step up, man. You got to get that game.
What is it called? Ham Hams Unite. And I also had the one for the Game Boy Advance too, but I couldn't find it. So it's probably at my parents' house somewhere. But
that's awesome.
I kept the other one just in case I ever wanted to play again.
That game. Hold on.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
Yep.
$400 for Ham Ham games on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh my god.
The Ham Ham Heartbreak for Game Boy Advance, a complete in-box copy goes around $130.
Yeah, that was the one that I used to have.
And Ham Hams Unite, complete in box, you're looking at $97 to $100.
Not complete in box. You're looking at about $50 for that hamster game.
Am I still in my Hamtaro game?
Oh, here's the... Okay, here we go. This is much more affordable. Ham Ham games on the Game Boy Advance, $26.
Is that a ROM or is that a legit?
It says authentic / tested fire emoji.
Fire, baby.
So it must be.
The fire emojis are what sold it. This one's even cheaper. $15.40. Well, not really. $15.49, $4.49 shipping for that one.
It's cheaper, it might be a bootleg.
But it also says authentic and tested, but this one does not have the fire emojis.
I mean, I could type that and people will believe it's authentic.
So the first one, the $400 one, it's sealed. So like, there are bigger hamster fans than myself out there. Is basically what I'm learning.
Yes.
I can imagine there are, because you only just started being a Hamtaro fan like 2 months ago.
I only just started being vocal about it.
Shut up.
So from Yen Press, not Hamtaro.
We're past the hamsters, guys.
We're moving past the hamsters. We can go back to that. I just want to finish out the solicits here. They announced the summer Hikaru died, which apparently is famous. I had no idea. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. And the plot says this is by, oh my gosh, I can't read this. Mokumokuren. Mokumokuren's The Summer Hikaru Died. Two boys lived in a village, Yoshiki and Hikaru. The two did everything together until the day Hikaru was encompassed by a mysterious light. That was when everything changed. Hikaru most of all. Yoshiki still wishes from the bottom of his heart to always stay by his side, but is there even a Hikaru left to be with? Okay, this tells me nothing, but it sounds like a lot of people were excited when I saw it on Twitter.
I was very excited to see it. I think it is a horror psychological romance series, or it has elements of BL in it. One of the characters was in love with the other character. I don't remember which one, but yeah, a lot of people have compared this series to another one I really like that's in kind of the same vein, where it's like a horror psychological romance called I Want to Hold Auno. So that's why I'm very excited for this one, because if people have been saying that they're similar, then I'm excited for this.
I like that it's horror and psychological shenanigans. I'm in. Sounds cool.
Anything is better than Chain Soldier Yen Press. So,
and this one is still coming out. Yeah.
I think it's like only 2 volumes in Japan right now, but it just got like a ton of licenses everywhere.
This one, I think, apparently, like the BL fans found the license, like that the license had been acquired, and so they were like, "This is going to be announced soon," and they were just like, "Who has it?" Basically. Yeah. And then it got announced, and like because there were people who were like, "Oh, there it is, there it is." Yeah. I don't know what y'all are looking at to find.
Manga Mogura posted it a couple months ago, maybe. Something like that, and I remember seeing it and being like, oh, English, so it's coming. I was actually expecting it to just be a digital only title, so
yeah, it's cool that it's such a young title and it's already getting put out. So yeah, I'll look forward to picking that one up. The other this was the special one that Yen Press had, because they did a bunch of them on Friday, and then they were like, but we have one more license, a special one. It's coming out on Monday, and that was
so random. So you're gonna have to wait 2 full days to find out what the hell it is. These are the other ones that they announced that Friday that we didn't cover on our last stream, and apparently they're not. And I apologize for the small pictures because I was navigating through their website and I couldn't figure out how to get the freaking thing. So I'm just gonna do this. Sorry.
Works.
It works.
You guys let me know if they're good or not. I have no idea. I've never heard of any of these. The Other Worldler Exploring the Dungeon. Broke and desperate, Sota signs up to warp to a fantasy world, ascend a dungeon tower, and claim the treasure. However, an accident leaves him stranded. Will his adventure end before it begins? Have you guys heard of that one?
I think from the circles that I was talking with, no one had heard of any of these.
Yeah.
I love it.
And they were mostly isekai fantasy ones.
Yeah.
So.
I immediately was like, were these license pickups that they had to pick up so they could get something else? This is just fodder so that the publisher would let them grab another series? Because I know that's a thing. They're like, if you want this big one, you also have to take these 2 little ones that no one likes.
Oh dear. The other one here is the villainess stands the heroes, playing the antagonist to support her faves.
I can't believe that's the name of this.
What's a girl to do when she is reincarnated into a game full of her biases, and as the antagonist to boot? Simple. Do whatever it takes to make them shine, of course.
This is why people make fun of millennials.
That's a horrible title. Regardless of the quality of the book.
I don't know. Is Stan really even a millennial term? I always kind of associated it with Gen Z.
Well, it's from the Eminem song.
Really?
But I feel like they've only started using it recently. Unless I just like, because I don't ever remember using it.
I don't remember using it. Probably I first heard of it like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's coming out, and then they revealed Sunbeams in the Sky. Twins Himari and Mio are copies on the outside, but their personalities couldn't be more different. When Himari decides to stay home due to an unfortunate incident, Mio knows the best way to convince her to return. Take her place. So that is coming out soon.
Is this the one? Didn't I like? Isn't this like not shoujo? And I was joking and saying
This is the one that was from G Fantasy that everyone always says their titles are shoujos, but they're never shoujos. They're always shonen. So
that's okay. That's what it was. And then after that, I kept calling everything with a girl in it a shoujo.
yeah.
Okay. And then
the next
day I called freaking. I posted this and I was like, look at this shoujo I'm reading.
Getting our hopes up.
The next one here is Kinido Mosaic, Best of Wishes. Set 1 year after the events of Kinido Mosaic, this volume contains 11 chapters, ranging from the everyday life of Alice and her friends after graduation to behind-the-scenes stories of their high school life. Never heard of this. So apparently it's a sequel.
Cool. I don't know the original series, so
yeah, we're not in the know-how of this.
There was
This is Call the Name of the Night. Deep in the forest, a curious pair resides, a young girl named Mita, whose affliction leads her to call forth darkness whenever she's in distress, and her physician, Ray, determined to seek a cure. I do like the cover, though.
Yeah, this was the one that everyone was like, "Oh, that looks really pretty," and so they all got pumped about it. And I think it only has like 3 volumes.
Okay, so it's not related to Call of the Night.
No.
Call the Name of the Night and Call of the Night. Gotcha.
Maybe they are hoping that like the SEO is gonna have this pop up whenever people are searching for Call of the Night, and they're like, "Oh," and just add it to cart instinctually.
I need something to fill out the card with. I need an extra $8. Let's go with that. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. No, I think that's it. Summer Hikaru died. I talked about that. Yep, no, that's it. So that's all the stuff announced from Seven Seas and Yen Press.
We're 1 month out from Viz announcement, so in a month we can talk about that.
People are going to go crazy about that.
1 month for disappointment.
They're going to be disappointed. That is the equivalent of the Nintendo Directs, where everybody just hypes it up and they want everything announced, and they get none of it. And then they go to Twitter and start throwing a hasty fit. Because
it's especially bad for the shoujo fans because like it's like less and less every announcement cycle.
And it's not even ones we like ask for. That's what makes me so mad, because I feel like so many people, like, there are like a group of like 5 or 6 series that I feel like people ask for the most, and we just never get it.
So maybe they just use a generator, a random name generator, and they pick out a series and like, let's go with that.
This one looks good.
On the board. I know like before Anime Expo, because at Anime Expo, Honey Lemon Soda and Mystery Toy Unikare got licensed. And those are 2 that like, because the Viz announcements happened like 2-3 weeks prior. And I know both of those were ones that like the shoujo crowd was like actively yelling about, like, give us this, give us that. And then the next one that I know you and like and Shiva is super outspoken for is Colette Decides to Die.
Hell yeah.
Which I think you talked about on the show last time.
I think I did, yeah. That one and Ferrari Girl.
So would that be another one that like Furare Girl is one that everyone wants, or is that just you?
I think that's just kind of me. I feel like not many people know that series, which is I don't know why. I feel like it from the friends that I know, they're all reading it, but for some reason it's not like well known from like a lot of shoujo fans. I don't know why though, because I feel like it's a really good series and it's like funny and it's romantic and it really has like gorgeous artwork. So
and then Seven Seeds, I would say, is another big one.
Yeah, I would say the ones right now are kind of Colette, Seven Seeds. Trying to think of the other big ones. Gakuen Babysitters. I feel like a lot of people want that one, but I'm just kind of like, it's long running and there's an anime. Like, I don't really care at this point to own it. Oh, yay!
Oh
so
my
good!
God, I read Furare Girl after the last show, and it's so good. It's spicy and weird and so funny.
That's another series that I feel like kind of is a parody, but it's not a parody. It's like, it just takes all the goofy tropes that manga has, and it's just like, we're just going to make fun of this, but also just like have really good characters. So anyway, Colette and Seven Seeds, I feel like those are the two that, like, if we get those anytime soon, it's going to be another Mystery Toei Unikari situation.
A very happy Mystery Toei Unikari. Yeah, that was a wild weekend.
It was fun. It was like the one time we all got to be happy.
Yeah, and then since then it's like life has
downhill.
Yeah. But that was like also the way that weekend worked out, where it was like everyone had their announcements, and then Viz was one of the last ones to go. And the way that they had, like, with the June round of license announcements, had said like we were gonna have some shoujo stuff, but we just couldn't get it out on time, whatever that means. Yeah. But we'll get it next time. And then people assumed next time might be Anime Expo, and they did nothing. It was like the so high of, like, you know, of Yen Press and Seven Seas, and then Kodansha, who did what was the one that they had? It was the digital first one.
Oh, A Condition Called Love. They announced the physicals for that one.
That one.
Cried. I wept.
There was whoever was it, Seven Seas, that is doing the new versions of Marmalade Boy or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it's them.
Because they announced it with Mystery Toei Unikari. Right?
So it's like all of these different ones that was like, yes. That was definitely a shoujo weekend.
Yeah.
Because they're out of everything, like, there was one big shonen, and that was what's it called? The one that's
Oshinoko.
Yeah. Oshinoko was like the only big one for that. So that was like the shoujo fam finally had some, like,
we got some W's.
Yeah, you finally got some W's in the world. And then, like, Viz went up and was just like, Naruto on Hulu? And,
whoa!
And Jujutsu Kaisen Blu-ray. And it was like,
that was not what people were expecting.
Kidding me? And yeah, and it just, because they even said, like, yeah, we've got some announcements at AX. Yeah. And then there was like nothing. So
Blu-ray announcements.
So I mean, as a shonen guy, I know at the very least that, like, you can heavily count on JoJo's Stone Ocean getting announced next month. Just timing wise, if it's not announced, I'm going to be extremely surprised. But it's like, for shoujo fans,
it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's a toss-up, and I only expect maybe two announcements again, because, like you've said, they don't license anything more than what they already have, and they only have 2 series that are ending, and that's Rose and Blood, which ends in one more volume, and then My Love Mix-Up ends at volume 9, and I think they just put volume 5 out, so I would imagine they're probably gonna put a license in for that one soon. But yeah, I literally have no idea what they would pick, because Rainbow Days was 10 years old. So it's like, are they going to go with a 10-year-old series? Yeah. Are they going to pick a recent one?
Or if it's going to be like Romantic Killer and it's actually a shonen series.
Yeah, they take something from Jump Plus and just kind of throw it in the shoujo line.
Like Boys Over Flowers season 2 or something. Yes, I'm going to say Goodbye Eri is absolutely, because they even hinted it, because someone asked in June, they were like, what about Goodbye Eri? And they said it's too recent. We can't, because it wasn't even out in Japan yet. Like the physical one at that time, I don't think was out in Japan. But they're like, they're gonna do it. They're going to.
Oh yeah.
I feel like shoujo is like very popular in every other country except for America at this point.
Yes, that's true.
France and Germany, they're crushing it right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, States. Shoujo's literally popular everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what announcement they'll have? They'll announce at least a Junji Ito book.
Yep.
They'll announce a random book that nobody's going to buy, like the how to make onigiri or how to do this or arts and crafts that nobody cares for.
Pom-poms, the like Hello Kitty pom-poms book.
Yeah, they'll do like an art book of sorts. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get, what's the other joke I'm swimming in my head right now?
A coloring book?
Yeah, I was going to say a coloring book.
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I want. Goodbye Eri is a good call. I think that's a good call. Stone Ocean, I think, is a really solid like bet. Like I would put bets on that. Junji Ito, it's probably going to be a storybook, like a story collection, but I would love to see Rasputin the Patriot, which is his longest form story. It's like 6 volumes in Japan. So I'd love to see that one in English. It's also not really a horror story. So that would be something different. And then they're almost done redoing Rumiko Takahashi's entire bibliography. So I think the next obvious choice for her would be like a new printing for 1 Pound Gospel, but I would love to see a new short story collection as well of like the old Rumik Theater, Rumik World stories to wrap all that up. And I would count on at least a couple of the more recent weekly Shonen Jump titles to get picked up. Probably Akane Banashi and PPPPPP, P6, if you will, because those I think are the most popular of the newer ones, and they've been running for about a year. By the time they would come out, it'd be about a year, so maybe.
I think Akane only has 2 volumes now. I think they just released volume 2.
But it's been really popular and like really getting a lot of praise from like people in the industry as well, like Oda and stuff talked about it. So I would not be surprised if that one got picked up early to capitalize on all the praise that it's been getting. Because I don't know, aside from that, like there's not a lot of the Weekly Shonen Jump stuff that is like has been out long enough and has been doing well enough that I would say definitely. Oh, actually, you know what? Me and Roboco. I bet that one because it's getting an anime. And that'll make a lot of people upset too.
Oh, that one doesn't have physicals yet?
No. And
I can't wait to see everyone mad about it though. I don't know why I'm so invested in how much everyone hates that series.
I love that series. I'm like the only one. I think I've seen one other person on Twitter who likes it like I do. But it's so like it's wholesomely fun and like it draws a lot of like references
in a good way.
Yeah, it's good, silly. I really love Roboco as a character. She's just like, it's so wholesome. Like everyone, the way it starts, like everyone is like, this robot lady is weird. What the hell? Like, why is she so? She doesn't look like the other like very typical feminine maids. Like she's very round and like very aggressive and stuff in her tone and the way she is as a maid. And like she comes rolling in on a motorcycle and stuff. Like But then everyone loves her, like almost immediately within the first like volume worth of chapters. Everyone's like just in love with Roboco because she's so sweet and she's so like endearing towards everyone. And I love it.
Mary Poppins in a way.
But like Mary Poppins, if she was a robot and not as like, I don't know, like she's like a bodybuilding sized robot. Like look at her, like it's a common thing they go on about her kneecaps. She's like, look at my kneecaps, and they're like big muscular knees.
I will say every time I see the art, I think the main little kid, I think he looks like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
Every time I see it, I think he's a Pokemon trainer. I was like, oh wait, no, it's the me and Roboco.
All the volume covers, as Gio had shown, like each of them is a parody of another series.
Mm-hmm.
Right down to the like one of the recent ones is a parody of Death Note, and the creator's name is listed twice.
Oh, that's funny.
But there's two for Death Note.
Let's see if I can find it.
Oh, it's a JJK one.
Yeah.
Here's My Hero Academia.
Look at her muscles.
I do love series that do a bunch of references.
There's a page in there where they do the famous like high five or whatever from Slam Dunk, like two of the characters like slap hands together.
You need to get the figure. This thing,
dude, it's only like 4 inches tall and it's like $100.
Yeah, it's a lot. That Japan does that a lot. Overpriced. Me and Roboco.
Oh, there's the Death Note one.
Oh,
it's diagonal.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It's diagonal from there.
Oh, there
so at the bottom, it's like art and story, but it's the same name because there's only one creator. So it's so good. He's got the signs and everything. She's perched up. Dude, I love it. I hope that one does get a physical. I would be happy to add that in. And it like, yeah, there's her coming in on her motorcycle. There's the Oshino parody.
So she is a robot?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume she was from the title, but
basically robot maids are super popular, and the main character, the little Pokemon trainer kid, he wants a robot maid for his home, but like his mom doesn't make enough money, and so she finds one on the cheap, and when she orders it, this is what comes in. And so he's like disappointed. He's like, this is not like the cute maid that like everyone else has, because they make fun of him too, you know. It's very like, you know, this type stuff like, you're poor and you don't have a robot, and so like she orders I got a robot. He's super excited, and it's like, you know, on Christmas and your parents got you like the Super Nintendo instead of the Nintendo. It's like that. Also all the friends there, the kid sitting down, his name's like Gorilla. I love him. He's so funny.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's the best. Oh, here you can see that he looks like
an
ape.
Got you, Gorilla.
Got you, Gorilla.
And then like those are his friends, but like they're jerks to him because they were like, you don't have a robot. Like Matsuo he just looks like a jerk. Yeah,
he's the rich kid.
Yeah,
they're not good friends, but they care about each other somewhat.
I think that they like, Roboco teaches them to really be good friends.
Yeah. Oh, so here,
that's what they expect, and he's like, she sees it, she's like, that's what I'm supposed to look like.
So it's a fun series. I think it's gonna explode in popularity if the anime does well.
It's just people get upset like when the like popular action series or like the action title that they like is canceled, but like the comedy series is still active, and they're like, you know, why did Red Hood fail when, you know, Roboco is still going on? And it's like,
not every action series is like accessible in the way that, like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, sometimes action series are just too much. When, like, a comedy series, you can, like, sit down and just be like, this is funny.
You can grab a random chapter of Roboco and understand what's going on easily.
Yeah.
Whereas like the action, you have to start and know what's going on. But I also think that oftentimes the action all melds together, and like so many titles, especially like around the time that series had started, there's Gio, like 4 or 5 different like supernatural action titles at the same time.
Yes.
It's like they were all blending together, but at the same time they have to try and find their own identity. And sometimes the series that you like just doesn't make it. Like, I was a huge fan of Phantom Seer, and it got canceled like as I was putting together notes about a video about all the titles in Weekly Shonen Jump, and I was ranking them, and Phantom Seer was getting my like number 2 spot or something. And I literally read the last chapter as I was like putting together my notes. And so when I made the video, I was like actively upset. I was like, this is my even though it got canceled after like 30 chapters, please read it. It is great. And then my other, like one of my other top ones was Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, and that one also got canceled.
That was great. I'm still mad.
Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin deserved the moon. It was so good.
Yep. So yeah, 2020 was when all that was happening. Phantom Seer, Type Paradox Ghost Rider. You remember Mori King? That was great.
Yeah, Mori King was fun too.
Yeah. Yashimon got canceled recently.
I think Mori King ended well though.
Oh, it had a perfect ending, in my opinion.
Like, because what was it? The bug. Okay, so first of all, I'm assuming you don't know anything about Mori King, because it's not like super popular shonen or anything. But like, what happens? Okay. The girl like gets a pet bug, and the bug like goes into the chrysalis form, into a cocoon, and when the cocoon opens, it's this dude, and it's like a full-grown naked man like in their house, and it's the boy. The boy is like the owner of the. It's like, this is my pet, and he just accepts it, and it still acts like a bug. So like it's like crawling on a tree.
I'm sorry.
It's a stag beetle, and so like they find that like there are a bunch of different like humanoid bugs that are existing at this point, because they all have to fight to find out who's going to be the king of the forest, the Mori King.
Yes.
And so she's like a butterfly or whatever. Like, that's what she has, the big hat, because she's hiding her antenna.
Wasn't she a roach?
Is that what it was? I don't remember.
I think she was a cockroach.
It's so stupid, but I loved it. It was
here's when he shows up naked.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds great. I will honestly probably read this later. I hate dumb. Bugs. This sounds great.
It's dumb, but it's so dumb you just can't help but laugh and enjoy it.
Didn't the parent show up and they're like, why is there a naked man in your room? And they're like, that's Mori King. That's my beetle. Yeah, I'm the rhinoceros beetle of the Arakawa household or whatever. The Aikawa household. But he's this like, very, look at the sparkles. Like, he's supposed to be hot. Like, he's this hot bug man. And it was what, like about 40 chapters, I think?
40, yeah, I think it was only 4 volumes in Japan.
And they compete, and like sometimes the competition is like very bug-like stuff, and sometimes the competition is like actual fighting. And there's like a couple, like, look how freaking strong he is. He's got the 1-ton weight there. He's built,
which is proportionate to the actual bug in real life. It was actually a smart series. It got most of its facts pretty right.
This was an overhated, because I think there's a lot of people that did not like this one at all. I thought it was a ton of fun.
Look at that perfect censorship right there. Cool.
Seems to be a pattern that a lot of Shonen Jump fans at least, don't like goofy comedy.
Look at this. Look at that.
Even with like One Piece, when One Piece goes super goofy, people get upset. They're like, what is this? And it's like, did y'all not like the first major villain that the dude fights is a clown at the beginning of the series. Are you not down with this shit? Like,
yeah.
I mean, when did I read One Piece? Back in 2010, maybe. I always just associated One Piece as being kind of like a goofy action series. And so, like, recently seeing everyone being like, oh, it's the best series ever, and like all these like philosophical takes with it, I was like, oh, I always just thought it was like goofy pirate guy. He's stretchy.
And it was, and then it like changes over time, but like the core is still there of goofy pirate.
Where would you say it started getting more serious?
I think, okay, so the first 110-ish chapters are the East Blue, like establishing and stuff like that. By the time you get to like about the last arc of the East Blue, the Arlong Park saga, that was the first like really, really heavy plot, I think.
Yeah.
But it was still like, you know, very young and very goofy and stuff. And going into the second overall like arc, the Baroque Works, that one, it starts getting, because there's a little more political intrigue in there.
I was gonna say that, yeah. Baroque Works
It's like slowly
up the ante.
It's slowly with every major arc, like Baroque Works, and then after that it goes to Skypiea, and it like gets a little bit more. But Skypiea also had like a bad guy that was just Eminem with like thunder powers, so it's also hard to take that seriously. But
you say that like that's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but it's also funny. I think I don't know, it goes back and forth, because then you get to like Water 7 has like the secret police that they have to fight basically, but they also team up with Frankie for the first time, who's a cyborg Ace Ventura, and then they fight a guy that turns into a giraffe. So
when did Frankie get introduced?
That was Water 7, so
Water
like
7.
300, 400 chapters in.
Do you happen to know what volume?
That would have been around like 35 to 40.
Okay. I've been trying to figure out for the longest time when I fell off from reading One Piece. And I remember I was introduced to every single one of like the crew. Was Robin, I don't know how much I need to worry about spoilers. Was Robin introduced in the crew by that point?
Yeah, she joined at the end of Baroque Works after they beat Crocodile. And then in the third major arc, the Skypiea, that's the one that a lot of people are like, oh, nothing happened because there was not a new crew member. But there was a lot of stuff that happened. It's just not in the same vein. And now, in retrospect, with new things that have happened, that arc is a lot more important. Water 7 was when Frankie came in. And after Water 7 was then Thriller Bark, which is where Brooke was introduced. The skeleton
guy. Yeah. Okay. So I got to him as well. See, I read so much of One Piece and I don't remember anything except for the crewmates.
Okay, so then after Thriller Bark was, I'm trying to think of what exactly came next, but like I would say a very, very, very drastic shift for the series came after the time skip. Like everyone goes their separate ways. They come back 2 years later, and it's like most of them are a lot more serious. But it's still goofy. Like it's still at its core, it is a goofy series. But that's where it stopped being, because like even Thriller Bark, it's like a haunted island. It's like very, it felt like very Tim Burton-y to me, like the way that it was presented. Like you have a freaking skeleton man with an afro. Like I loved Brooke. Like so many people crap on Thriller Bark now, like they don't like that story arc, but I loved it. And I loved Brooke. I thought he was a cool character, a cool idea. But after the time skip, which would be like volume 61, that's where things really feel like it goes into more serious grounds. So wherever you were, somewhere in like the 40-ish volume range.
Probably 40, 50. I remember like big, what was her name? Like big Mom, Big Mama. Is that her name? What was her name? Was she introduced later?
If you were introduced to Big Mom, that's pretty far.
Yeah, I read I was caught up to where the series was when it was still releasing, back when I was reading it in high school. So I had read recent releases every time they came out from the library. This is why I don't go back and read these shonen again, because I have to reread 60 volumes.
Well,
same with Bleach.
If you ever wanted to try and go through One Piece, at the very least, there's movies for the first 30 volumes that wraps it up within 5 hours, I think.
And just get the recap to refresh my memory.
It's the Saga of the East Blue, the I don't remember what they called Alabasta, but they have a Drum
There's
Island.
a movie for Alabasta.
But there's also one for Drum Island where they introduced Chopper. And then there's an Alabasta movie, and then there's the episode of Sky Island.
Yeah, because some were movies, others were TV episodes, 1 hour episodes recapping the whole thing.
But they haven't done anything like that, as far as I'm aware, for Water 7 and beyond.
No.
Okay, so after Thriller Bark is the Summit War, and that's shit gets real. But if you got to Big Mom, that's where was she introduced? Dressrosa and Whole Cake Island or something?
I think Island, yeah. Oh, the Cake Island, whatever.
So let me see first appearance of the Big Mom.
That's so funny. I knew that I read a ton of One Piece, but I didn't realize that I had read up to 60 volumes.
Yeah, this is, if you were introduced, then you're at least 66 volumes in.
Oh my god.
That's a lot.
And that just sounds daunting, having to be I gotta reread all these 66 volumes.
It is, and that's when I started reading One Piece, I was 12, 13 or something like that, and at the time, I think they were in Japan. They were in Sky Island. They were in Skypiea, so that's 200 something, less than 300 chapters in. That's already a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's already most series don't make it that long. And I was already wow, this is such a long series. And then my friend pirated it, and it wasn't as easy. You had to download chapters back in the day, you couldn't just go on a website and read them. Yeah. So he downloaded all the chapters and put them on a disc for me, and he's here, I want you to get caught up because
wow,
on a disc. And I was already reading it, and I got him to read it, and then he went beyond where I was, and he was you need to catch up now, do it. So I read the Viz release through part of Alabasta, and then I got the disc from him, and I started reading it from there. And by the time I caught up was the middle of Water 7. And it was hilarious because I remember the conversation. My friend was you need to catch up. They're in this place, Water 7, and they're going to recruit a new member. He's going to be their shipwright. And I think they're going to get this guy that uses ropes as his weapons. And I was oh, okay. And he was talking about Polly, who's another character in Water 7. And then it turned out to be Frankie. And I was he was wrong.
Baz used to read it when it came out in the Shonen Jump books that got mailed to his house. I think I stopped reading it at chapter 30 or something. Nice.
First appearance of... Yeah, Big Mom was first introduced in chapter 651. So you made it quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
Never call me not a shonen fan.
Yo, man, you got all the creds.
Of course, yeah.
You just need JoJo's, right?
Yeah, I need to try and get through that first season. I was bored out of my mind. I'm sorry to say, but I was bored out of my mind.
Skip it. I am such a proponent for part skipping in JoJo's, because each part is so wild, especially at the beginning. They're so wildly different from what the rest of the series is.
Yeah.
That, if someone doesn't like it from the beginning, and I'm look, you very well might like it later on.
Yeah, when it's not the exact same.
Yeah, the stories are so disconnected that like you can just read it, and then the thing that happens with most people who do that is they go back, and because they're like, oh man, now I've started with part 3 or I started with part 4 or whatever, and I watched forward, but now I liked it enough that I want to go back and have more.
Yeah.
So then you go back to the beginning, and like that, because the way that it was originally published in English was starting with part 3. So that's where I started. Was, you know, Viz put out Stardust Crusaders Volume 1 back in 2005, and I started there and I moved forward. And then they finished publishing part 3 in English in 2010, 2011, and they didn't start up again until like, I want to say 2015 was when they started doing the hardcover releases, and that was when they finally put out the first part in English, and because of the success of the anime. So I started with 3, and then I went back and read 1 and 2. And it was fun because 1 and 2 then provided some context. It's like watching Star Wars and then watching the prequels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would tell you, I think part 4 would probably be your bag.
Okay.
I think.
I'll try it. Because I'm not opposed to the show. I just found the first season just to be so boring. Like, after they left the house, I was just like, I don't care about what's happening. I'm so confused.
That's my boy. Like that. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that pompadour.
Pompadour. That is a pompadour. That is a pompadour if I ever seen one.
Who's the Joestar that is like the most JoJo's? Like, you know, like if you think of JoJo's, you think of this one usually.
I think
You say it's
Jojo.
him?
I think
Jotaro for sure. Yeah.
is the most, because he's also the most present. He's in. Well, I guess Joseph is also Jotaro and Joseph are both in 3 parts. But okay, hold on.
Jotaro is in the cover of video games and merchandise, and
Is he from the third?
from
Yes.
the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Jonathan and Joseph. Jonathan is only in 1 part. You know, it is what it is.
It's the Boy Scout of the bunch.
He's not the most interesting. He's like the Superman of the bunch, not the most fun character on the surface, whatever. Superman fans, don't hurt me. I love Superman.
Yeah, I could see people getting upset. Superman fans.
And then you get Joseph. And Joseph is introduced like episode 9 or episode 10 is when part 2 begins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's far more entertaining, in my opinion, than part 1 is. Joseph comes back for part 3 for Stardust Crusaders, and that's where we're introduced to Jotaro. That's Joseph's grandson. Joseph comes back as like a DILF. Look at that. And no, but like, look at that. Look at it.
So that's the guy from the first season?
This is from part 2, which is
Part 2.
which is in the first season of the anime.
But that's the Joseph from the first season. Now is the DILF?
That's the dude in the back.
Okay.
And now he's him.
I like how I'm getting all this JoJo lore right now.
And then in part 4, Jotaro's back. And he's a little bit older. He's wearing white now.
Yeah.
He's like, he is a secondary protagonist type character, similar to how his grandfather was when he was a DILF.
For him. Yeah.
For him in part 3 in Stardust Crusaders. But Joseph is also here, but now he's old as shit. So he's not really useful.
He's no longer in his DILF era.
Yeah, he's not even in his GILF era at that point. And then they're fighting against our boy Ziggy Stardust over here. So, who has a hand fetish.
Oh boy.
He does. It's weird.
And then after that, after part 4, you get part 5, where they're all in the Italian mob and they're all also gay. It's beautiful. Everyone has boob windows on their shirts.
Yep.
Sorry, my cat. I don't know what he's doing. Stop.
And then Bruno is the mom of the group. He's wonderful. It's great. Like, everyone's fantastic.
And you know what sucks? We're probably never going to see part 6 on Blu-ray.
And then don't tell me that. Don't say that. And this
That's
is the
okay.
bad guy for part 5 with the fishnet shirt. It's great.
Is
I-
part 6 the one that's on Netflix right now?
Yeah.
Is that why you said that? Okay.
Yeah, because Netflix, they don't do that often. Really shows on physical media.
They had that for 7 Seeds, right? Or did that just happen?
Yeah, because Funimation was involved, so they wanted to put that out there.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, part 6 is like Orange is the New Black with superpowers.
Yep.
See, now that sounds interesting.
And you could start there if you want. And part 6, Jojo is the New Black also has Jotaro comes back there. So once again,
4?
so Jotaro is in part 3, part 4. He's briefly at the very beginning, I believe.
And
He's
5. Yeah.
I think it's just like a phone call because like another character in part 4 calls him up, and then he's a major part of part 6. But he's in his Dilf era at that part, but he's not really active. Like, he comes in and he's like part of it, but his daughter Jolene is the main character, and so she's in prison. Yeah, part 4 is very gloriously 90s. It's such a 90s. It's like very, very reminiscent of like Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's also very like Monster of the Week type stuff in a very small town setting, like Twin Peaks-ish, I would say, in its setting. I don't know. At first I was ambivalent on part 4. I was a little bit questioning it, but like after a little bit, it really grew on me. But it's just, there's a small town murder mystery is all it is. And like Jotaro goes in to investigate it. It's great. I love it.
James is a fan of part 2. I like part 3 because I played the video games for part 3, especially the Capcom fighting game. So I'm very nostalgic over that part. But ideally, part 4 is my favorite story so far. I'm not up to date. I've only seen the first 5 parts, and I haven't read the manga. So sorry.
I've read all of it and I've watched everything that's out. My favorite is part 7. There's like a reboot, and part 7 is the beginning of a new universe, basically. And it's like a different version of the same. It's Johnny instead of Jonathan from part 1, and there's like a horse race across the United States is what it's about, but like the secret is the treasure that they're all looking for is like the bones of Jesus Christ. And
is this Steel Ball Run? Is
Yeah.
that what that? Oh, look at me.
you already know what it is.
Mostly because Will is always talking about it.
You've got the Gyro Zappelli. Yeah, and it was interesting because the beginning of that part, they make it out as if like Gyro is the main character, and you don't get introduced to Johnny until a little bit later. And people actually had no idea when it was starting up that it was going to be another JoJo's part, because it's not titled JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run. It's just titled Steel Ball Run.
So it was a little bait and switch.
Yeah,
kinda.
and so
That's
now
fun.
you're like introduced to this dude Gyro Zappelli, and you're like, who is this guy? This is not a JoJo. So bait and switch. Your expectations were not there, and then all of a sudden you get introduced to Johnny Joestar. And you're like, oh, this is a JoJo's part, and then they start introducing the stands again, and the villain is the president of the United States, and it's great. He's got these big like he sleeps with his curlers in is what his hair looks like.
Yeah.
And he inexplicably like yassified throughout the series. Like he starts out like looking like the Penguin from Batman Returns, and then he winds up looking like Batman from Batman Returns by the end. Like he's like muscular. Yeah, I don't know the horse situation. That's the thing that a lot of people are worried about, is like how expensive it's going to be to animate the horses, because it is a horse race and it's like all horses, and every horse has a name.
They even put out figures for the horses.
Yes. And most of the horses are named after, like much of the other things in the series, after either musical artists, songs, albums, etc. Like I think the main one is like Slow Dancer or something like that.
That is the one thing that I enjoyed from the first season that I watched, was being like, I get that.
I'm going to complain for a minute. I'm going to dunk on Viz Media for this. So I have the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as well on Blu-ray. I have the collector's editions for them. These were the only ways you can get the series on Blu-ray. And then after I was done getting them, Viz is like, you know what? Now we're going to release it cheaper, which is for like $40, you get the whole season. I'm like, okay, thank you. You made me waste like 60 or close to $65, but whatever. So set 1, and then got set 2 over here. Right there.
I have those fancy boxes somewhere.
Set 3.
Are the fancy boxes at least worth it for you? They look nice.
I love this this style. And here's part 4 with the box and all that.
I love Josuke so much.
And there's part 5 or part 4. Sorry, part 4, part 2 of that. And then you would expect they would continue doing the black box thing, but no, here's part.
Yeah, it's a slipcase.
Slipcase, all white. Right there.
That's just mean. They did that on purpose.
So it looks atrocious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I hate when color schemes of spines don't stay the same.
And then they got rid of extras in these boxes, and they were still charging the same amount.
Because the first 2 had like handkerchiefs or something.
Yeah.
Like art
This
book.
one is thicker than this, but they're both the same price. They got rid of art cards and posters or whatever. Like if I open this up, you get the Blu-ray and the book, and it has art cards inside. But then they got rid of all of that, and you're just getting the Blu-ray and the booklet, and that's it. So I was really upset with how they handled the release for this.
I think my favorite thing, like every part does this, but like part 4 I think exemplifies this the most. And like y'all know, like both of y'all know at this point, like friends are the most important thing to me. Like my friends are it for me.
Oh.
And my like part 4 is so focused on like just a group of people who become friends by like, in a lot of cases, weird situations. Like they just start, and it's like they expand their friend group.
You would say bizarre situations.
By bizarre situations. And it's like, it's so great. And it's like this very just non-toxic masculinity of like loving your friend group and like caring for your friends so much. And I'm like, this just exemplifies everything that I believe in so heavily. Look at that guy. He's a dilf. And you get Polnareff with the like flat top.
Okay, now here's a question. Do they all like are they they're not reincarnations, so they're all like related.
Yeah.
Do they show like romantic pairings of all the Joestars in the series, or is it like oh, it's over and like you just kind of know that they got married or they had a kid or whatever it is? I'm sorry. I didn't know if they had like partners.
I think part 2 is the only one that like pushes like Joseph's partner, which makes it all the more painful when like spoiler alert, Josuke is Joseph's illegitimate child from like a side piece. So like they set up Joseph's relationship with his wife, and like you like she's a major player in the series. I think is Jonathan's also in part 1? I don't remember. It's been so long, but like that's the part that a lot of people get upset about is the fact that like Josuke is Joseph's illegitimate son.
Okay.
And like he pops in and he's like, by that point, like I said, he's like old. He's like decrepit at this point. Like, and Josuke is there and like with his mom and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that's your dad."
Yeah.
But Josuke's so perfect, and Okuyasu is great too. Okuyasu is in the corner. He's like one of the first he's got the money on his chest. He's one of the first antagonists in the part, and like any great like initial antagonist, they become besties.
He's a bit of a Zuko.
Yeah. And all these have like storyboards and stuff like that. So now everybody needs to buy the freaking JoJo Blu-rays. Again, we're probably not going to see part 6 on Blu-ray, but one can dream, one can hope.
I'm gonna go punch someone if it doesn't get released. I'm gonna make it myself.
Yeah, download the episodes and burn them.
That's your solution to a lot of things, Riley.
Do it myself.
Also, I like Giorno because his name is almost similar to mine.
It's Giorno Giovanna instead of Giovanni.
Exactly.
Giorno Giovanna, which Giorno is the most like unrelated to the rest of the character from the whole series, because he is part 1, Jonathan, spoiler alert, dies, and
How
like,
dare you? No.
So Dio like dies, but like
No. How could you?
Dio takes over Jonathan's body and sleeps with an Italian woman.
Of course.
And that is how Giorno came to be. So technically Giorno was born of a Joestar body. But he's like both Dio and Jonathan's child. And that Italian woman.
Lovely.
These relationships are insane.
Yeah. And he's in Italy and he has some wonderful powers, and everyone has wonderful powers out there. Part 5 is wild.
Yeah, it's super stylized compared to the others. Especially the outfits and the hairstyles.
I love it. I love it so much. I'm just so happy that
part
like
4 just for you.
What?
I'll check out part 4 just for you.
Okay. And then from part 4, like if you're like, oh, I liked Jotaro, you can go back to part 3. And then you're like, oh, I liked Joseph, he was a DILF. Then you go back to
Then I try season 1 again.
like, and I like if you have any issue, like I can explain like part 4, it's like stuff relating to Dio, who was the main antagonist of parts 1 and 3.
I do remember like how everything started, because I think I got 8 episodes into the first part.
If you got 8, you were almost done with part 1 because it's like 9 or 10 episodes.
I could not keep watching it. I was like forcing myself by episode 8.
And
but I got to the end of like when they left the house and then he met
Zappelli,
the old guy. Yeah,
the dude with
Zappelli, and he fought some dude in like a prison. No, not a prison. They like went to this castle.
Yeah.
And there was like a guy who was chained and he had to fight him. I think that's what it was. And that was like the last thing I watched.
I think that was like Bluno or something. I forget the exact names. Blue something.
And the whole time I was like, where's the guy?
Lufer.
Where's the one guy that everyone knows?
The part, I'd say part 2 is a lot better. In part 2, you get like a really great bromance with Joseph and Caesar. And then that's where like all the memes are like, Shiza!
That's one of the best romances in manga. I love that.
There's Caesar right there. Look at him.
Yeah.
Blonde hair and the headband.
It was awesome.
Shiza! And that's where they fight using ham.
Oh, Hamon. I forgot about that.
Yeah, before they had stands, they learned to to use what it's their breath, right?
Yeah, something like that.
They like harness their breath, and it's Hamon, which
well,
is
and that was the other thing. I was just like, wait, I thought they had stands. What is this? Like, I went into it just knowing like way too much about later JoJo's that I think I was so put off that I was like, wait, I thought this was like an action, crazy, weird. But then I was just like, why are they just like hanging out in Britain? Why is this guy a dick?
Where's everything that I've heard of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, even like on the cover like of the game, it's Jotaro. Like he's often because part 3 was the most popular one before the recent anime came out. Part 3 was the first one.
And that's why the whole time I was just like, where's that guy? Yeah. I know that guy.
That's why they started with that. Like even here, he's like one of the most prominent ones. He's at the front with that's Josuke also. Not the same Josuke, but that's the second Josuke.
Josuke number 2.
From part 8.
Part 8. Also, the first time JoJo was ever animated was part 3, so that's why.
And that like well, I think part 1 had a game. It had the beat 'em up, right? But like part 3 had the fighting, the old Capcom fighting game. We talked about this last week, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna see if I can buy it," but it's like $500.
I love that game, and I'm so mad that it's so expensive for PlayStation and Dreamcast.
So that's why they started with part 3 in the States, because it was the most popular one.
That's so interesting that they started animating it at part 3.
It was an OVA, like a 12, 13 episode OVA, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really quick adaptation of like extremely quick, because the anime, when they get to part 3, it's like 50 episodes for part 3.
It's long. Yeah.
It's a lot. Like it's especially a lot when like parts 1 and 2 are both together about 24 episodes, and then you have 50 episodes for part 3, and then part 4 is like 38 episodes.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, whenever they release new books, like the Golden Wind hardcovers, you can get them at our sponsor. That's InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions. Get your omnibus, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, manga, and so much more, up to fantastic deals, 50% off. If you order on a week-by-week basis, you get that loyalty discount that adds an extra 2% to that order. If you make an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging. That's InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibroslive here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. Shout out to IST for always sponsoring your Omnibros. Also, thank you to the chat. You guys are great, as usual. I haven't highlighted all the comments, but thank you, everybody.
Everyone hanging out while we ramble on for no reason about JoJo's. I don't even know why we got onto it.
We need to do a part 2 video. We need to do a part 2 video. We had one ages ago.
It was because we were talking about shonen, and Colleen said, "See, I do like shonen."
And you wanted me to watch JoJo.
And I was like, "Now you just because you've done part of One Piece, Bleach, and then did you do like all of Naruto or just part of it?"
I had a friend who gave me 10 volumes, couldn't get into it. I think I stopped around the first, I remember they got into the school and he met like most of the characters, and then they had their first like test or something, and I just couldn't get into it because the comedy at the time was too like fart-based humor that I was just like, this is like gross. Like I did not care for it. So I ended up not really liking that one. But like Fairy Tail, I got really far into. Yu Yu Hakusho, I think I read some of that, but I don't remember enough about it to remember much about it. But I think like One Piece and Bleach were mostly my thing.
Not to cut off, but I will forget.
No, you're good.
Yu Yu Hakusho is back on Barnes & Noble. Every volume has a release date for a new printing. So
go get it.
That and Slam Dunk. I think all but one volume is available with like a approximated release date for the new printing.
Just when I'm out of room, because I do want to own both series.
You just need a localized black hole or something in your room that you
like
can...
a pocket dimension, then I can access and just store.
it's super easy.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Inhumans reference. Remember when they were trying to hide the Infinity Stones in the Illuminati miniseries, the original Illuminati, and Reed had Black Bolt scream as loud as he could into that tube, and it ripped open a pocket dimension where they threw one of the stones. That's what you need.
That's what you can do with your manga.
Exactly. I'll scream at the top of my lungs and just throw the books out there. See what happens.
Open a pocket dimension, put your books in there, and then when you need them, you can just scream and open it up.
And pick out a book, yeah. Riley, why did you have to tell me about those printings? My poor wallet. That's what we aim to do on the show. You get entertained and you get mad at us.
No, you see, your wallet should be happier because those printings are going to be cheaper than what people are trying to sell them for.
Good point.
You're saving. I'm saving you money. Ultimately,
storage rental room just for books, or a tiny house, but a library instead of a living space. On the tiny houses.
That's what I almost did in my house in Austin, because there was like a small, like 250 square foot shed in the back that was like meant to be a living space, but it never got finished. I was going to finish it and turn it into my library, but I never got to.
I would get so paranoid about that. Like having all of my books in a separate thing outside, that just sounds like I would get so anxious and constantly check to make sure like the roof is okay.
There's no raccoons like coming in.
No bugs.
Reading your shit.
Yep. Rave Master Tainted Fairy Tale for me.
Because it's so much better.
Fairy Tale Tainted Fairy Tale for me. So Zach, my boyfriend, was rewatching it for a little bit recently, and I was just like, I don't remember it being this not good.
I'll be honest.
I don't know if it's just the anime or the manga is like that too.
The only thing I liked about Fairy Tale that I recommend is the soundtrack. I love the music for that series.
We were like a month or two ago, we were talking briefly about Soul Eater. And you were like, if I go back to it, like I probably would hate it. Because I was like, it's okay.
I tried semi-recently. But those first 3 episodes are so fan service heavy that it's hard to get through.
With the witch. Yep.
The one with the witch in the first episode, all the stuff with Tsubaki in the second episode, and then all this stuff with the Liz and Patty in the third episode. It's just like... everyone is getting sexualized in every single episode. And I was like, oh God, I want to like this series still.
I do like, from Soul Eater, I do like the character of Medusa. She's awesome. But that's about it.
She's an antagonist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the blonde girl. I was thinking she had purple hair, but she's blonde, right? And she's got like the tattoos on her.
Medusa? She has like the arrow tattoos or something.
Yeah,
or dots or something.
Yeah, I remember liking her powers.
So you're so fan service heavy. Fire Force is even worse. I like the anime, but yeah, there are some aspects of it that it's a little bit hard to recommend.
I think Soul Eater was like taking off when I was in college, and I had a friend that like had been watching it or reading it or whatever, and it seemed like something that would be right up my alley because like, you know, you got like monster people or whatever, like Frank Enstein or whatever the shit, and I was like, oh, that sounds so cool, but I never got into it. And then I only tried to get into it, or I've been reading it. I've been reading the hardcovers from Yen Press, and I'm like, it's fine. It's, you know, it is very 2000s shonen, but it's also very unspectacular. Like it's just not really anything that I'm like, I'm not gonna make content based around this. Like I made a 30-minute video about Slam Dunk. I don't think I could talk about Soul Eater for more than 3 minutes.
I just think the character designs in it are really good, and I think that's what carries it, honestly. It's just like the really, really cool character designs, and then some of the fights in the anime. Like the first one with Maka against the Grim Reaper character. I thought was like one of the coolest fights when I watched it for the first time.
I think like some of the ideas are fun, like Death the Kid.
Yeah,
is cool with like the upside down pistols is a fun little thing.
Oh, that bothered me. I know he's like super obsessive compulsive OCD.
His hair is like not because he has the lines.
I was so bothered by that. I'm like, hold the gun right, dude.
Stop playing.
Your pinky's the weakest of the fingers, I think, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I don't use my pinky when I play Guitar Hero. It's too weird. I can't strum. Not strum. I can't hit the fret button as heavy with that. I just use 3 fingers. Why do we even have pinkies? I don't think I need this.
Cut it off right now.
It doesn't provide for grip. Like I can barely hold this bottle of Mountain Dew Frostbite. Not a sponsor. This is the worst Mountain Dew that I've had, by the way. I've been suffering through this.
Why are you still drinking it?
Because I don't want to waste it. I spent like $1 something on it.
Well, what if you mixed all of them together?
And
that almost sounds worse.
I don't know, but I think that I had Code Red for the first time the other night, and it was an epiphany. Like, this is so much better than I either remember it being or thought it was. But I opened my bottle of it the other night and I drank a sip and I was like, I have seen heaven and this is it. And I just downed it. I was like, I usually will savor my soda. That shit was it. And I was upset because the gas station didn't have Baja Blast. Because Baja Blast is like seldom any, like it's available at a couple places, but it's not at like all wide release at gas stations and stuff like that. But I didn't want to drive all the way to Taco Bell to get another Baja Blast. So I just got the Code Red. And give me a bag of Doritos and call it a night.
Code Red tastes like liquid gummy worms.
It's so good. It's just
Who knew the gateway to heaven was 100 grams of sugar?
Is that all?
Get roasted.
No, it's 76. 76.
Better.
That's not much better. Yeah.
This one's also 76. God, Frostbite.
You're also talking to someone who literally like can hardly consume sugar anymore. Like literally the only thing I can drink anymore is LaCroix because sugar is just too much for me. So I get my bubbly carbonated beverage fix with water.
Well, this was 39 sugars.
Goodness. And I'm sure it tasted even more sweet though, because it was like a fruit.
Yeah. What I do like if I'm trying to not have a lot of sugar, I'll use the flavor squirt thingies like Mio or whatever and put that into a carbonated water.
Oh, like the Powerade type things.
But like the ones that are 0 cal, 0 whatever, like it's there's nothing really there except for artificial flavor.
Yeah.
And I just squirt that into whatever carbonated water. And like, for instance, like a plain like pure or whatever LaCroix, and if you put like black cherry, it kind of tastes Dr. Pepper-ish.
Is that what Dr. Pepper tastes like?
Not
like
really.
Cherry?
It's 23 flavors. It's like cherry, amaretto, fig.
This comment just made my night. Show about school kids fighting demons with superpowers. Americans, yeah, okay, whatever. They fire the guns funny. Now wait a fucking minute. I gotta point that stuff out, man. It's weird.
It's not safe. It's not safe gun use.
No.
And the other question would be, can guns even shoot upside down? That's what I'm wondering.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't really think of that. But I don't think that I would have enough strength in my pinkies to like actually,
because guns are heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got the strongest pinkies, and that's like part of his thing.
Maybe it's not.
We just never found out.
Superpower. Yeah.
It's not that he's holding it upside down. It's that his hands are upside down. Like his index finger is literally where his pinky is. So he has like this muscle is actually here on his hand. Pinkies out does not apply to guns.
30 grams of sugar is a lot. The average recommended intake is only 40.
My daily intake is somewhere around like 400. So
there you go.
Such a sweet guy.
It's because you're so nice. You need to have all that sugar to supplement it.
See, yeah, I'm just such a sweetheart. Like I have to. I said that like really, like coyly or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm such a sweetheart because I'm actually an asshole. But like, both of y'all are like, no, you're not.
Yeah, shut up.
No, I really like sugar, so like I'm probably gonna die, but that's okay. I'm gonna die happy.
Hey, you do you.
Like I ate. This is supposed to be 6 servings. This bar, I ate half of it in one sitting, and I'm probably gonna eat.
What the heck's that?
Yeah, that is
What
an
is
interesting looking chocolate bar.
This is the Tony's Chocolonely.
I don't know, Tony. Okay.
Slave labor free chocolate.
Slave labor free chocolate.
Because most chocolate is a product of slave labor.
Oh, okay, wait, gotcha.
And so this Tony's, it's like $5 for a bar, and the bar is twice this size.
Jesus.
6 servings, but it's produced without any use of slave labor or anything like that. So it's all cruelty free, whatever, like all the good stuff.
That's interesting, and I feel like people need to know that most chocolate is made that way.
Yeah.
And where the hell did you buy that?
I got it at Target. You can get them anywhere. I have the wrapper in my trash that has like the whole. They're like, read our story, and it's Okay, here it is. I got a bunch of trash now.
Okay.
You've gotten to Riley digging through his trash like a little raccoon.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
So this is the bar. Tony's chocolate.
Oh, you showed that.
Yeah, Tony's chocolate.
Yeah, okay.
And this one, I had 3 of them. This was the chocolate caramel sea salt milk chocolate.
Whoa.
It's pretty good. Share our chocolate, share our story. Right now, there is slavery on cocoa farms in West Africa. This is a result of the unequally divided cocoa chain. Tony's Chocolonely exists to change that. Our vision is 100% slave-free chocolate, not just our chocolate, but all chocolate worldwide. And then they have like, together we'll make chocolate 100% slave-free, and they've got the chain right there. With incredibly tasty chocolate, we lead by example and show the world that chocolate can be made differently in taste, packaging, and the way we do business with cocoa farmers. Alone, we'll make slave-free chocolate, but together we can make all chocolate 100% slave-free, so we ask you to join us. The more people who join our mission and share our story, the sooner 100% slave-free chocolate becomes the norm. The choice is yours. Are you in? And then it gives their socials. Crazy about chocolate, serious about people is what it says. And there's a site that you can go to. I don't remember what the site is, but it lists all of the different companies that use chocolate that's via slave labor, and Nestle and Hershey's are on that list.
I assumed.
Yeah.
I assumed. Giant mega corporations. I would assume they're doing something bad.
Let Tony know about the show so we can get sponsored chocolate.
Right?
Tony sponsored chocolate.
Yeah.
These are expensive. It's $5 bar of chocolate. I want some free ones.
Let them know. They can sponsor the outro segments of these streams.
Omnibros
brought to you by Tony's Chocolate.
Omnibros manga show is brought to you by, but on like I have this, and I also have a bag of M&Ms, and I guarantee Mars is also not above. I was a mistake. It's the nut brownie mix. I thought they were nut brownie M&Ms. It's just you get the nut ones and you get the brownie ones. I was like,
oh, boo. They should have said nut and brownie. That I hate that. That's so mean.
There's no ampersand. There's no fucking ampersand, guys.
Give us the ampersand.
So that was my chocolate soapbox.
Thank you.
I feel like no one was taking that seriously, and then I was like, no, like, because I said something about like,
because I thought you were joking.
No, I saw your face, like you were like, because we're talking about the chain hero or whatever, and so there was already stuff about like slave whatever.
Yeah, so I thought you were legit joking.
No, I'm not like that's not a joke. And I saw your, and I was like, that's why I was like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, no, okay. Like, after reading the thing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like an actual thing.
It's real. Yep.
This is the legitness.
I thought the wrapper was going to have a map for like a secret treasure or something, the way you unfolded it.
I wouldn't have thrown it away if that was the case.
Yeah.
The edges were like burnt.
This is like Nathan Drake's next game is
Finding the Tony's chocolate.
Tony's chocolate only.
Oompa Loompas have rights too. Yes. Monster and holiday cereals. Yeah.
These are the Pop-Tarts was me. The holiday cereals is Jess. The Oreos, I don't remember when we did that.
Probably an episode with or just Jess and you talking about food, because we've done that on this stream.
Yeah, well, that was the Pop-Tarts.
No, but you've had streams where you talk about food, just straight up food, and like Carnival Fare. You remember that?
Yeah. And there was the one where like Jess had a burger with peanut butter on it out of the dare, and I did it just because it sounded good to me.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing on the show? What are you guys eating, consuming on the show? I'm so confused.
We're gonna like.
This is an experience. I mean, you don't get this in other YouTube shows.
We'll pull Colleen into one of the other shows, the ones that like I only do Thursdays now.
You're gonna get me to barf if you make me eat anything weird. Like I am not good with weird food.
We did a show where Jess and I bought a bunch of Pop-Tarts, each of us, and we ate, like, we sampled a bunch of Pop-Tarts like blindfolded and guessed what they were.
Lou was there,
yeah,
right?
I could do that. I could handle that.
But no one liked it. Like, it's infamously the lowest rated show that we did. That one and the Mad Libs that didn't go.
Mad Libs. Yep. You also had the idea to do Mad Libs on broadcast, but superhero themed. Sounds like a good idea, but the execution was horrible. And those two, the Pop-Tarts and Mad Libs, are one of the worst streams on the channel.
They were also my idea. Both of them.
I don't know what to say about that.
So,
I don't think that means anything.
I shouldn't be the producer on this show is basically what we're saying. I don't think
Start getting your ideas from Rhett and Link. Get some good Mythical Morning content going.
Yeah. Colleen, being a Thursday tradition of So Fun to Watch, she's like, what have I gotten into? Oh, you're just getting started with Omnibros lore. We're crazy. Jess almost had a medical issue with the dew bombs. Yes, we talked about that before going live.
Jess also killed his computer with fucking
Coca-Cola or root beer, one of the two.
It was root beer, but he had that giant little
yeah,
and he pulled it up and it hit the soda and it spilt all over his computer.
Little Nemo. It's like a super oversized book, and he was trying to show it off, and then when he took it off screen, he knocked the glass of Coke on top of the laptop, and it died in like a minute. He went off air, and then he had to get another computer and log back in and started cleaning it with paper towels. It was insane.
Oh, that's funny.
Remember the chipped tooth with the pizza?
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it.
Just bit into super cold pizza, and the part of his front tooth chipped.
Like frozen?
I don't know. I wasn't there that night either, but I don't know how frozen it was. Apparently, it was super frozen.
Oh my god.
Poor Jess.
I wasn't on there, but it's always him. Like everything bad happens to Jess.
Jess was so calm for chipping a tooth. Yeah, I would have been freaking out. Don't forget about the BB&J burger. Yep.
This is our like anniversary reminiscing show.
Yeah.
No.
So in 6 years, we've done a lot. Hopefully, we can be here another 6 more and talk some nonsense. Let's see. Are we missing anything before we wrap up? Because we've been going for a while.
Yeah, we have. Not that I want to go on a 20-minute tangent, but what was the question about Dragon Ball?
Oh my God, Dragon! Okay, let's end it with that.
I keep it very tight. If I
have to scroll.
I was gonna say, okay, so Blackpink,
Yeah.
as Riley knows, is a K-pop group that I very, very much like. They have a comeback in like an hour. So I cannot be here for too much longer.
Oh no! Don't worry. We can wrap it up.
we are ending
in like 3 minutes. Here's a question: If it hasn't already been discussed, have any of you caught up with Dragon Ball Super Hero? And if so, what did you think? And what are your reflections on the current state and future trajectory of Dragon Ball and Akira Toriyama? He's apparently hard at work on another DB film or show right now. Go for it.
Quit it, dude. The superhero movie leagues better than the super show has been. I wasn't a huge fan of the super show. The superhero movie was a lot of fun. I'm glad that there was finally a new thing that was focusing on characters other than just Goku and Vegeta. Gave a lot of focus to Gohan and Piccolo, a lot of focus to the idea of family and like what family means and stuff, because obviously it's very commonly stated that Piccolo is Gohan's true father since he raised him. But I also think that's kind of unfair sometimes when they say how bad of a father Goku is, because he was literally dead at that time.
Yeah. What do you want him to do?
He's not a great dad, but he was dead at the time. That Piccolo was just the homie. Like, and what was funny is like Piccolo didn't have to, because Piccolo was like a bad guy just prior to then, and like he came around, was like, yeah, I'll raise your kid. Like he just was cool, man. Like he was down. Anyway, I thought the movie was great. It gave more like that kind of focus was really fun to see. Focus on family, using Pan a little bit, showing like how Gohan is as a father, like somewhat absent father, and like Piccolo's standing in for him there as well. But then like he comes around and is like, when he needs to, he's like, no, that's my girl, that's my daughter. I'm not gonna let y'all mess with her. Both of them get power-ups that like make sense for them, I believe. So now like going forward, as it is with Dragon Ball and with shonen properties like this, you have a bunch of characters that are just extremely overpowered, and they each have new levels of power. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I am like, every time a new Dragon Ball thing comes out, I forget how much I like, why I enjoy the franchise, and then I watch that thing or I read that thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just fun. Like. It's not the most groundbreaking thing, but it's fun. I just had a lot of fun with it.
There you go. Perfect. Did you eat an army ration meal?
I did. I think I probably ate multiple, because I had a box. I had a box of MREs.
Oh my God, what?
I had a huge box of MREs that I took from my work when I worked at the car rental place in Austin.
Yeah.
Because they were one of the major accounts was a local whatever, like camp.
Yeah.
They left like 40 boxes of MREs, and each box had like 25 of them in it. and they just left them out and in one of our vans, and they were like, "Oh, you can have them." I'm like, what the hell do we want these for? And I was like, I'll take them. So I took
Some are good.
I took one, and I feel bad that people have to eat that because it's terrible. Like
some were okay.
So like okay, so
I
some
feel
of them,
the like taco ones are the better ones.
there's literally some of them like the breads and stuff have silica packets, and the bread tastes like straight preservative. It just tastes like preservatives. But they have some of them have Skittles, and some of them have like M&Ms, and some of them have Reese's Pieces and Gatorade powder. So that's cool. But even the gum that they pack with it sucks. It's like the type of gum where you chew it twice and it crumbles. And it gets dry in your mouth. Yeah, I feel bad. Like this is what they're like. Those are supposed to be our, America's finest, and they're giving them preservative bread.
Sounds about right.
And crumble gum.
Final question of the night: you guys like Sayuki or Kurosagi Corpse Delivery? I like some of Sayuki, not all of it. And I have not read Kurosagi Corpse yet.
I read most of the original Sayuki series when it was first coming out in the US.
Yeah.
And then I did it again when they were doing the hardcovers from Kodansha.
Yeah.
I read the first 3 of the 4 hardcovers, and I was like, I'm not digging this. Like, it was not for me. I haven't read Kurosagi yet, but I did. They reprinted all the Omnis, so I picked it up. So I can read it now. So I have the reprints of 1 through 4, and I have the new one finally released, Volume 5.
Yep. Colleen, how about you?
No thoughts. I haven't read either.
Sayuki is one of those
nice.
that moves around demos because
I've heard of Sayuki, but I've never felt the need to read it, and I guess from what you said, I don't have to.
It's not great. It's Journey to the West, but
with pretty boys.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll read it then.
Check it out.
Pretty boys, I'll read it.
I would check out the show, honestly.
The show, okay.
Yeah,
you might dig it, but it wasn't really for me. I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. But they are very pretty.
Totally.
If the art is cool, maybe I'll still like it, because sometimes the art is just good enough that I'm like, it's fun to read.
Creator also did Wild Adapter, I think.
I don't remember
with that one, but yeah, it's like part 1 was a shonen, and then I think after that it moved to a shoujo magazine, and I don't remember if it moved again, but there's 4 parts to it or something.
There you go. Okay, so that's going to be it. It's been a long episode, but we kind of wanted to do that on purpose to have some fun and talk some nonsense, and of course celebrate 6 years of Omnibros on YouTube. Hopefully you guys stick around for 6 more if they don't kick us off the platform. We'll be back on Monday for Hall's previews and reads, and then Wednesday for Media Night, and then Thursday again for another manga-themed episode. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to our sponsor. Thank you to everybody watching later. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts on the solicits and all the crazy stuff all the tangents that we went on tonight, from chocolate to Jojo to dew bombs. It was a wild one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Colleen, where can people find you on the internet when you're not here with us?
You can find me on YouTube at Colleen's Manga Rex, on Twitter at manga_nostalgic, and on Instagram at Colleen's Manga Rex as well.
Right on. Omnibus Collector, how about yourself?
The Omnibus Collector on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram, where I've been trying to remember to upload some of my TikToks, and Omni Collector on Twitter.
Alrighty. You can find me
What about
Tim, where I talk about anime and manga and all the other stuff, Twitter, whatever. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. God bless. Catch you guys on the next stream, whenever that may be. Bye, everybody.